Tonight, we take a trip down to Normal, Illinois in a matchup that is anything but normal. It is the Chili Bowl, another edition in this storied rivalry between Normal Community and Normal West. It should be a great game between two teams that are always playoff contenders every single year, and the winner of tonight's game has a major leg up in the Big 12 bragging rights and that big sweet bowl of chili as well. Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Michael here alongside Nicholas, Yosefi, and Nick. This is a great game. We're so excited to be here. It's the first time doing a Chili Bowl in some years. It's a great crowd. A lot of fans already packing in here at Wildcat Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. This place looks like it's going to get mobbed with fans. I know a lot of players before that we talked to said this place gets packed. So I'm excited to see the turnout, and I'm sure these players are ready to give the fans something to cheer about.
Definitely. And this rivalry matchup is, definitely special in the sense that these players are all from the same town. Some of them even live right down the street from each other, but go to separate schools, separate districts maybe. These are players that have grown up alongside each other and are friends 51 weeks out of the year, but that all changes this week.
Yeah. When you have a big rivalry like this, you normally get those friends that are like close outside, but the one week that there's a rivalry, they're not cool at all. They're just like don't really talk because they're focused on the game, right? And so and they literally the schools are located on the same road, so that really makes things even more of a rivalry.
The Rob Road Rumble, you could even call it as well. And again, it should be a great game here tonight, Nick. Both these teams coming off of big Week 1 wins. Normal Community, a new look team for them, inexperienced but not young. They beat Richwoods 40-6.
Yeah, they were mainly senior heavy last year. This year, all those juniors that were on the team last year, now seniors, looking to fulfill those roles. And I think Week 1, they definitely showed that they are capable of doing that.
Most definitely. And for Normal West, an impressive 34-14 win over Peoria Notre Dame. And Nathan Fitcham told us before the year he wants his team to be more physical. Well, the Wildcats were just that last week.
Yeah, they definitely stopped P&D's run game, which is normally what they tend to focus on. And a lot of these returning players, they showed that they could be physical up front, and they can make plays when they need to.
Definitely. It's all setting up to be a great night here in our WMBD Game of the Week. Alongside Nicholas Yosefi, I'm Jonathan Michael. We caught up with a few Normal Community players earlier this week to get their thoughts on this rivalry matchup. We'll be right back after that.
Obviously it's a big game, so we're all excited. A lot of people in the town are going to be there. It's going to be packed, so great atmosphere. They're a great team. They got some great players, so it should be a fun game to play in, and it's always cool to get to play in front of that many fans. So
we know what we're capable of. We know what we can do. We just got to have a good week of practice, go out there and perform it.
Maybe my oldest brother's senior year, they were down and they came back and won, so it was cool to see them get that win. So, that was just a cool moment, see my brother get that win. So
we know all of them. We know all about them. We're friends with them outside of this week, but during game week, we know what we got to do. We got to lock in, friendships aside.
Just having a great week of practice, focused on our goals that we have every single week. Obviously it's a big game, but we're just treating it like any other week. We're just worried about winning this game. Obviously they're our rival, so it's a little bit, a bigger moment. But just practicing well, playing our football the way we've been taught these past couple of years, and I think we'll come out on the right end of it. So.
You heard it there from Micah Drengwitz and the rest of the Normal Community Ironmen. They're fired up and ready to go. Welcome everyone inside of Wildcat Stadium. Get a look at all the crowd pouring in for this one. Big crowd on both sides. A lot of orange on the opposite side for Normal Community. Lots of black and white here on this side for Normal West. About 10 minutes away from kickoff. I want to send it to a quick word for CSM Overtime and come right back with more pregame coverage here live from Normal West High School.
Central Illinois, we're going to overtime. After 4 years of preps coverage in Central Illinois, Clip Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams,
Your stories.
your stats and standings, your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts. As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds. CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action, more stories.
More coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
Strike up the band. They're ready to play. It's the Chili Bowl. Everyone, glad you're with us here on our WMBD Game of the Week on CIProud.com. And Jonathan Michael here in the booth alongside Nicholas, Giuseppe, and Nick. We're just kind of getting ready for this place to erupt. It's very quiet right now, waiting on teams to take the field. This place is going to get fun, though, tonight.
Absolutely, and normal community isn't even on the field. Neither is Normal West. We're waiting for them to run out, and I know this place is going to erupt on both sides.
It seems like this place is like a Pepsi bottle waiting for a Mento to get dropped in it. It's going to explode here later tonight. Two very good, very fast, athletic teams that play a lot of just really good football. I mean, Nick, these are two of the best teams year in and year out here in Central Illinois. And again, Normal Community, we talked about a little bit earlier this week, coming off of a state quarterfinal run last year. Normal West, again, also a perennial playoff team as well. And both teams have the same expectations this year.
Yeah, they're looking to make some noise early on, and they're definitely looking to start the season off hot. Both teams are 1-0, and they're coming off pretty good wins, as mentioned earlier. And they're looking to carry that into week 2 and beat a rival team such as the opposite opponent.
And let's take a quick look at the weather. They're going to look at I-74, the traffic humming along that you always see when we are here at Normal West. Beautiful night for football, Nick. 62 degrees, a little bit cloudy, but there's really no chance of rain. It's going to get cooler later on, but there is one element that always comes into play at Normal West.
That is the wind. You know, being right by the cornfields and the interstate, that sort of brings the wind over to the field, and it just becomes windier and windier, mainly as the night goes on. But, you know, wind plays a major factor in this game.
Most definitely, again, yeah. We have been to multiple games here at West where there is, a lot of wind. We've done games in the rain here, so hopefully I think we should have a good forecast tonight. Don't want to bank on things too terribly much. You never know what Mother Nature has in store. But again, Nick, it's just, how can you not be romantic about high school football? You got the sunset, the cornfields, you got Central Illinois football. This is really, we're just lucky to be here, really.
Yeah, normally they say, how can you not be romantic about baseball? But the same can be said for a football environment. They just seem to erupt even more than baseball. They bring in the bigger crowds. These are what the students look forward to, the Friday nights under the lights. This is what brings the school and the community together.
Most definitely. Normal Community, no surprise. They're in all orange tonight. It's an orange out for the Ironmen and the Normal West Wildcat student section. They are showing out big time tonight, and they are in all black, a blackout for them. So as the team is getting ready to take the field, I want to step aside for a quick break here in our WMBD Game of the Week. I come back with more pregame coverage and kickoff live from Wildcat Stadium.
Pride runs deep in Central Illinois, and now it's time to crown the ultimate high school mascot. 36 schools, one champion. The CI Proud Mascot Bracket is here, sponsored by Peoria Production Solutions. Who's got your vote?
Looking for a new pair of boots? Time to replace that old cowboy hat? Branded Country Wear is Central Illinois' one-stop shop for all things country. From jeans to boots to accessories, Branded has something for the entire family. Stop in Monday through Saturday and let our friendly, knowledgeable staff make your shopping experience one to remember. Or shop online 24/7 at brandedcountrywear.com. Branded Country Wear, where Central Illinois does country.
Walk to Bowl is your flavorful destination for Asian cuisine and culinary artistry in Bloomington. From curries and stir-fries to noodle bowls, desserts, and more, Walk to Bowl has something for everyone. Experience the flavor from our bold and exciting menu today.
Welcome back to Normal West. Came back right in time. Wildcats are taking the field. The purge siren is on, Nick. And, I mean, these players, they dream all year for this game, especially West, who's trying to end a 2-game skid to Community in the series history.
Yeah, the last 2 games, Normal Community has dominated. They've won their last 2 games, a combined score of 96-7. So Normal West is looking to bounce back and make some noise here.
Really big time for them if they can get one tonight, Nick. And you talked to a lot of people, and I think a lot of people kind of have the same feeling about it, is that this one could still go Community's way, but no one really thinks it's going to be a blowout like it's been in past years.
Yeah, I think this one is going to be a lot closer than recently. Both teams are ranked in the top 10 of their respective divisions. Normal Community is ranked number 6 in 7A, and Normal West, who was unranked last week, but their pretty convincing win over P&D, has them ranked 9th in 6A.
Yeah, that was a good statement win for Normal West in a game that I think a lot of people thought could go either way, and West dominated them by 20. And, you know, Nick, again, we talked about it briefly at the top of the show, but really what they did well in that game was stop the run. They were physical. Yeah. That's what they needed to do against P&D. They limited it to less than 4 yards per rush.
Yeah, P&D, as mentioned earlier, is a very run-heavy team. And with Normal West just stopping that run, that really shut down the entire P&D offense. And P&D had no answers for them on offense.
Definitely. Quick word again for Clutch Sports Media Overtime. All of our written coverage on ClutchSportsIsle.com. Follow your school and your stories you care about. Multiple stories every day on high school sports in Central Illinois, especially on Normal West and Normal Community. Had a little bit of a story on them earlier this morning. Our starting lineups, but we have pick'ems, AP polls as soon as they come out, nightly roundups, news, feature stories, all of that. Again, on CSM Overtime, your new home for written high school sports coverage in Central Illinois from our great team of writers. And the West Wildcats are taking the field, Nick, and while we're at it, let's talk about the key players we're going to be watching for both these teams. Let's start with the Wildcats. Malik Given-Smith, MGS, they call him.
Yeah, he last week he had 6 receptions, 55 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns, as well as getting a pick 6 and an interception on defense. He was all over the place.
And you get a look there. There's Malik Given-Smith right as we call his name, running out onto the field. Again, he's going to be a big player to watch. Multi-year starter, a senior, standing 5'9", clocking in 170 pounds for Normal West. Now for Normal Community, Nick, again, not a ton of players returning from last year's team, but one of them on the defensive line is Kellen Augston.
Yeah, Kellen Augston was named Big 12 All-Second team last year, and he's looking to have an impactful day against a very good Normal Community or Normal West team.
Definitely, again, Augston, and then also keep an eye on if we'll see Demarion Gardner tonight. He was another all-conference player that got a bit banged up against Richwood, so we'll see if we see him here tonight. But we're all set for kickoff. Glad you're with us again on your Friday night, whether you're tuning in maybe from right down the road in Normal or from halfway across the country. Glad you're with us here on CIProud.com. And it looks like Normal West will receive the kick, Nick, and they will receive it off the leg of Will Castro, a player who is one of, if not the top kicker in the area. So, again, a player like that could really neutralize the potential effect of Givens back there.
And it also could set them up later in the game. If they need a clutch field goal later on in the game, he's their guy. He's their star kicker. He's looking to make some plays, I already know, for this team.
Castro's got a big range for sure. We'll see how he starts this one out. The wind has died down here just before kickoff, so not going to be as much of an influence. The Ironman student section, the Iron Invasion, jumping up and down. They're ready to get things going. Castro waits for the signal. And another edition of the Chili Bowl is about to begin. Strap in, folks. It's Normal Community. Normal West doesn't get much bigger than this. Says we're still waiting their referee's signal. Maybe they're just trying to see how long the students will keep on jumping for.
Yeah, those students, even though it's just before kickoff, those students are ready to go. And I know Normal Community is ready to give their student section something to cheer about.
Again, it's Malik Given-Smith and Efoy Baskins, a player who's very similar to Given-Smith in a lot of different ways. Back there, deep to return. They're standing just inside the 15. And both teams coming in 1-0. 1-0 in the Big 12, and one of these teams is going to be very happy to get to 2-0 heading into next week.
Yeah.
Now we hear the whistle. We're ready to go. Castro lines up his guys, steps into it. A little deke there. Oh, a trickery onside kick to start the game. Ball's bouncing around, and then might have paid off for the Ironmen.
It looks like Normal Community has it. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe that's how we started. I definitely thought they were going to kick that to the back of the end zone, and they fooled everyone. They fooled me. I did not think that they were going to pull that off at the start
Jason
of the game.
Dregwitz said, let's head down to the riverboat. We're taking a gamble to start this one. And my, what a statement, not just in what just happened, but in terms of the aggressive mindset coming out. We want the football.
Yeah,
wow.
They definitely, I did not think, I think Normal West was just as surprised as we were that they just tried to pull that off at the beginning of the game.
Now, there are a few officials talking this over. My guess is to maybe see where the ball was recovered if it went 10 yards, but they've given the signal. It's going to be community football. So that just kind of throws you off your rhythm if you're West. The defense getting called into action right away. They were expected to start off the sideline for a few minutes.
Yeah, that was like they haven't even started the clock yet, and this game has already turned upside down. That is a big play going Normal Community's way, and that's something that you just can't have at the start of the game. Big plays, like game changers, you can't just have that at the beginning of the game.
Well, we talked with Jason Drengwitz before this game earlier this week, and he said we got to nail special teams to beat Normal West. Well, so far so good for him and the Ironmen.
Yeah.
What a way to start. And they'll get the ball right around midfield or so. And again, Nick, as this new offense trots out, we'll get our first look at Lucas Beatty, a familiar last name, younger brother of former Kyle Beatty, now taking the reins at quarterback for the Ironmen.
Yeah, his brother was a 3-year varsity starting quarterback, and he's definitely looking to fill his brother's shoes, if not do better than his brother in this season.
First snap from midfield, man in motion. They'll go with a screen pass is brought in. Some more trickery. Going deep. Michael Mavick wide open. First play. Touchdown Community.
Wow.
Can you believe it? What a start.
Wow, I mean, this is crazy. I did not think that we would just have two big plays to start this game. We are 12 seconds into this game, and we already have a little trick play on the kick return, as well as a trick play to start off offense.
There is a late flag down on the field, down near the 10-yard line. We'll see what that's about. But they went with the flea flicker. They gave it to Luke Potts, the junior wide receiver, who tossed a great ball down to a wide-open Michael Mavick. So we'll see what this call is and if this stands. What a start for the Ironmen. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Ironmen, so the touchdown will count. They'll get docked some yardage on the kickoff, but I think they might be willing to give that up for a 6-0 lead 12 seconds into this game.
I will say, though, if we can't have too many of those unsportsmanlike conducts this game, that could really alter a game. So keeping those to a minimum is key.
Yeah, we definitely hope that both teams, again, just, play clean. Obviously, the adrenaline, the nerves, all there. You're thinking about, there's maybe the trash talk on social media leading up to the week as well. Let's hope it doesn't spill over too much, but here's Castro for the PAT, and it is well through 7-0 Ironman, 11:48 still in the first quarter.
And Normal West not looking to get a little tricked here on this kick return. Hopefully things can go their way on this one.
Again, in case you're just tuning in and wondering what just happened, well, West was supposed to receive the kickoff, and again, Castro, it gave West a few seconds to kind of, it looked like they were like, hey, we're going to onside this. They had a little bit of kind of a weird run up to it, and the ball just bounced. It's the way the football bounces. It's not like a baseball where you pretty much know where it's going to go. Rolled the dice, and it paid off.
That is 100% true, and if you're Normal West, I think that is a huge turn of events for you. I think you could ride this game out with that. If you can keep that confidence level high and keep your opponents off guard that much, this game could easily go your way in a big way.
Definitely. And again, talking about the keys to the game, Nick, again, we're going to talk about it after the first play until it was a touchdown. But, again, for Normal Community, for them it was to clean it up. Again, they had a little bit of a sloppy first quarter. Jason Drengwitz said against Richwoods. So they got to clean those penalties up. And also, they got to cut the phones off. Got to have no house calls from Normal West.
No big plays. We already saw 2 big plays already from Normal Community, but they're looking to limit big plays from Normal West.
And also for the Wildcats as they get set to return this kickoff. Castro is taking a deeper approach. This one is a normal kick. Going back to the 5, brought in. This is Efoy Baskins, who trips, loses his shoe. Shoeless Efoy, he is marked down where his knee touched the ground, and that's a knife in the heart for West. They're going to start this drive, Nick, inside the 10.
And that's just unfortunate. You know, your shoe comes off, you slip on the ground. That is just not what you want to see as a player. I know he's going back to the huddle, and he's probably, I can't believe that just happened. But he's got to shake that off. He's their starting safety on defense, so he's got to shake that off and look to make for the next play.
And, you know, West just, again, you got to not be frazzled right now.
Yep.
Again, given the way this one has started.
There's still plenty of time, too.
Yeah, they're walking the football back. They might be doing this kick over again. I don't know if there was a flag we did not see or what was there. So they are redoing the kick. So normal West, and it gets a little bit of a break there, and Efoy Baskins gets a second chance.
Maybe they'll kick it to his way again, and he can redeem himself. Or maybe they'll go to the other side to Malik Givens.
I don't know if you want to kick Givens Smith's way after he started the game last week against Richwoods. 92-yard kickoff return, and that's a heck of a way not only to start the game, but that's the first play of the season for you.
Yeah, that is one heck of a way to get your crowd into it. If you're Malik Givens, just as soon as they touch the ball, he scores.
He's just that sort of player for them. Put the ball in his hands and good things happen. So Givens and Baskins will take a step up to about the 20-yard line or so. Castro's kick now will come from the 25. The referees forgot that there was that unsportsmanlike penalty, so they forgot that the ball should have been at the 25. So, again, still referees, still early in the season for them too.
Yeah, absolutely. We can cut them some slack too, as much as the players. Just players.
Beautiful kick from Castro.
That
That's
goes to
still
the back
a touchback.
Wow, goes all the way to the back of the end zone.
And got a nice community bounce, and so West will start this drive in their own territory. And Nick, again, we talked about West being frazzled, but again, the player that can calm them down is senior quarterback Drew Mangrum. He is a multi-year starter for them, very mature quarterback. This is his third year on varsity. His first two were hampered by injuries, so we'll see if he can kind of settle West in and at least kind of just move the football, get some of the good things going for the Wildcats.
Absolutely. After starting down 7-0, that's not what you want to see if you're the starting quarterback, but I know him and his experience. He's going to be calm, cool, collected in this one, and I think he could deliver a big game and a nice, clean game for Normal West.
So Mangrum will start from the shotgun at the 20-yard line, 3 wide receivers. Givens at the bottom of your screen. Baskins at the top. They'll hand off to Cody Mulbauer. They're a workhorse in the backfield. He gets wrapped up by a few Ironmen, including Colin Kierfoot looked like got in on that stop. A few other guys. Going back to the keys again, Nick, for Normal West, for them it's a wrap. They got to wrap up tackling on defense. They also, again, can't take any plays off because the Ironmen will make you pay.
Absolutely, and we just saw right there on that kickoff return where they kind of like he gave them a sec to adjust and they still didn't adjust, so that kind of shifts their way. And tackling is a part of football. If you can't tackle, it's not going to end well for you most of the time.
Especially with the speed community has both these teams very fast. Givens Smith is headed to the sideline, so he'll check out here. A little bit of a bumpy start just in terms of the cadence of this one. There's long delays, onside kick, penalties, so
you can definitely tell it's a new season with the way this has started.
Still trying to get into our groove. Mangrum back to pass. He's looking the way of C.J. Payton. He's brought down right away. And again, that was Kierfoot right in bounds, had him lined up. So that'll be 3rd and 4 now from the 26. Playbook pretty wide open here on 3rd and 4, you'd have to imagine.
Yeah, I would say. I think you lean towards the pass here. Try to get a good chunk of change. Look for something over the middle that you can sort of, maybe even the sidelines, but mainly the middle that you could sort of, try to make a play with.
Again, get the ball in the hands of Givens, Baskins, Mulbauer. Those are the 3 top guys for the Wildcats. And paying attention too much to one of them, well, the Wildcats can make you pay with somebody else. Ironman maybe showing a blitz. They'll hand off to Mulbauer. Big hole on the left side. Breaks through. That's enough for a first down. Credit Romeo McCollum and Jackson Hill, the left tackle, the left guard, opening that one up.
I think that is huge if they want to set up the pass game. Getting the run game going early is key to if you want to open up the passing game, and that's how you get your other playmakers, such as Malik Givens, involved.
Mulbauer carried the ball 24 times last week. Everyone else carried the ball, I think, a combined 8 times. So again, 75% of the carries Mulbauer had. The speedy junior. Look at the beautiful sunset here in Normal. What a night it is.
And with all those carries, he definitely did not disappoint. He had 188 yards, 8 yards per carry almost, and 2 touchdowns.
Mangrum will pass. It's a quick hitter. Picked off. Kamarion Coleman brings it in for Community. He's trying to stretch the field, going back to the left, inside the 40 and brought down. Another big play for the Ironman, and Coleman comes up with the ball, says, look what I found.
I mean, that ball looked a little bit behind Malik Givens, who looked like that was his intended target, so he wanted to go to one of his playmakers. But just a little bit, it felt like they were a little off cue there, and they were able, and Normal Community was able to come down with that in a huge start to this game for Normal Community.
And the Iron Invasion, boy, they are invading the energy of this game already. The onside kick, the flea flicker touchdown, and an interception by the sophomore linebacker, Kamarion Coleman. Nick, with a team as big as Normal Community, again, large roster, lots of experience, a sophomore starting for them, that means a lot. That means that they are pretty high on this Coleman guy, and it shows off why there.
Yeah, he definitely did not disappoint on why they have so much expectations for him and why he's in the starting lineup. He just proved that he is worth that starting role.
Had him covered well. Here's Beatty under duress, but finding open space. Beatty inside the 20. Brought down at the 15, a 22-yard pickup for the junior signal caller.
And it looked like he wanted to go for a truck there. Most quarterbacks tend to go with the slide. He was looking for all of that action right there.
And Jason Drungwitz, their head coach, said Lucas Beatty plays offense like a linebacker. He is not afraid of contact, a physical guy, 5'11", 185. Trying to put his stamp on this storied rivalry, the Chili Bowl. Normal Community off to a hot start. 1st and 10 from the 15. Mavick in motion. Taekwon Page, all-conference cornerback, covering him. Now they'll switch Mavick over to the top of your screen. Handoff goes, another little flea flicker. Here's Mavick trying to stiff arm a guy and bringing him down in the backfield for a loss. That is a big TFL from Ryan Carmona.
And that is going back to one of the keys of the game, wrapping up and making that tackle. He read the play well, stuck with it, and made the tackle in open space when they needed it. If he gets away from that tackle, that's at least a nice 7-yard, maybe 8-yard gain.
That's a big play for the Wildcats defense, who's again trying to find something to kind of cling on to and kind of find something just to spark that momentum early here in this one. 2nd and 17 from the 22-yard line. Have a flag on the play, and it's being waved off.
They didn't like that flag. I didn't like it either.
You know, Nick, anytime there's a game with as least flags as possible, that's what I like.
That's the most clean version of football, which is what we like to see, a clean football game. No flags, just straight football. I think also if Normal West can hold them here, that would be huge. That could also turn the tide if they can hold them to at least a field goal, if not a turnover, a pick, maybe even a fumble here would be huge for them.
We'll see what they come up with here on 2nd and 17. Kind of a loaded box here for Community, or for West rather. Keep an eye again on number 45 in black, A.J. Holly. He was their leading tackler last week. Here's a keeper by Beatty, brought down. Play was diagnosed right away, and good tackling there again from Carmona, as well as Keegan Brown, a key piece of the Wildcats D-line.
Yep. As I said, or as we said earlier, this Wildcats team has a ton of experience. You know, they brought back most of their guys from last year, so these guys know what they need to do to win in big games.
Yeah, again, West didn't bring a ton back, but they brought back more than Normal Community did last year. They bring back Keegan Brown, they bring back Efoy Baskins and Malik Givens, a few other guys as well, Romeo McCollum. Some other guys that have stepped into bigger roles this year. 3rd and 15 for Beatty. Looking, trying to find somebody, dumps it off to Cole Kretzinger inside the 15, but he won't get anywhere near the first down yardage. So, Nick, is this the time they might see Will Castro try and give him 3?
Yeah, I think for Normal West, I think that's a huge stop. You know, an interception that demoralizes everyone, whether that's the players, the coaches, or the fans. But getting a stop here and holding them to a field goal when they were inside the 20 at one point is huge. Let's just see if Castro can knock this in.
Inside of 8 minutes here in the first quarter. And Normal Community scored on the first play of this game from scrimmage. Flea flicker touchdown. Here's Castro's kick. It's slicing to the left, but it's good. Ironman lead 10-zip here, 7:05 to go in the first quarter. So, again, good drive there for Community, started by the interception by Coleman. It might feel a bit disappointing, though, getting 3 out of that instead of 6.
Yeah, starting inside the 15, that's red zone offense right there. That's where you that's where you feel good and you want to punch that in for a touchdown. That would really have crushed, the spirits even more of Normal West. However, since they held them to a field goal, the defense has something to feel good about after giving up that first play touchdown.
And speaking of defense, Normal Community's defense getting a nice breather kind of early on in this one. They haven't had to be on the field that much, only about 3 plays so far.
Yeah.
And going back to the interception by Mangrum, again, he's the guy that knows his receivers well. That ball was just a bit behind Givens, and I don't even know if Coleman really knew the ball was there. He's kind of put his hands back there, hit his arm, and just kind of juggled it, came away with it.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Givens was off cue there with his quarterback. It looked like he was going to run a comeback route, and that's why the quarterback threw it a little bit behind him, and that's why that ended up getting intercepted.
The West Drumline getting set for this kickoff here. Again, this is a shorter run up. We'll see if they onside it again. It's a little pooch kick. Angle near the sideline. That's going to elicit a flag. And so West will start this drive at the 40. And maybe just a slight execution error there, but again, I think it just went more to the left than they were bargaining for. And West will start this drive in good field position.
I'm actually surprised they decided to do that. Normally, you either go with the onside or you just go with the straight-up kick. I'm surprised that they went with the little booch kick, there. It didn't end up paying off as they get 10 more yards with that flag. So we'll see what Normal West can do here on this offensive possession.
Yeah, look at that beautiful sunset. I mean, we are looking directly west right at it. And a look right at the scenes here from Normal, Illinois. Normal West, Normal Community facing off here in the Chili Bowl.
Why do they call it the Chili Bowl? Do you know?
Nick, I asked both those questions, and you'll see both of their answers later on in this one. As handoff to Mulbauer, picks up some short yardage. He goes ahead for a yard or 2. Community was jumping up and down like there may have been a fumble. I think it stayed with West. But, again, I asked both head coaches, hey, you know why it's called the Chili Bowl? And neither one of them really knew. You'll hear their answers later on. We caught up with these coaches, and you'll hear from them at halftime.
Well, I do know that they do have some chili down in the press box. I might go snag some after the game since, after all, it is the Chili Bowl.
And the winner of this game will get an actual Chili Bowl, and they may even have some chili in there tonight. Here's Mangrum on 2nd and 7, looking for his guy Givens, and he was out of bounds. A well-placed ball. That one was not getting picked off, but Givens just couldn't quite get the foot down.
Yeah, that would have been a great catch. It was nonetheless because he ended up hauling it in. Just wasn't able to get the foot down there, which that would have been a big play to start off this drive.
So 3rd and 7 here for West, a bit behind schedule in terms of down and distance. Probably a passing down here, but we did see him run it one time on 3rd down with Mulbauer with good results.
Yeah, that got it, I think, like 10 yards out of that, which I don't know if they go back to it here with a longer 3rd down. No, they look like they're going to
Community
pass.
drops back in coverage over the middle. Pass is complete. Brought in by 13. That's Carmona out across midfield. Another big 3rd down conversion for Nathan Fincham's group.
That looked like he might have been able to take that all the way. Luckily, the safety got there just in time. It was able to make a nice open field tackle. Otherwise, that could have been a call to the house.
So 1st and 10 to the 41.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to the pass here. That pass play looked great. The last 2 have looked great. Wasn't able to execute on the 2nd down pass play, but the last one looked great.
Yeah, good ball there from Drew Mangrum. Empty set here. He's looking to throw again in some traffic. Going for Givens. That's a bit too far. That was in coverage. That was Quentin Barton and Jalen Smith, a junior and a senior, respectively, for the Ironmen.
And I like how they look to take the big shot early. As we said in the beginning of the game, Normal Community, they want to stay away from the big plays, stop Normal West from having like those house calls. And Normal West looked like they wanted a house call right there with Givens.
So 2nd and 10 here from the 41. There's been a lot of passing here for the Wildcats. 3 wide receivers here. Mulbauer in the backfield. They go his way. He's pushed back, stays alive, spins around, and another first down or very close to it. What a run there from Mulbauer. The first door closed, but the second one was wide open.
Yeah, great way to read the line, see where his blockers was, see what the defense was coming at him with, and able to maneuver his way to get into some open field. Kind of looked like Le'Veon Bell kind of there with his patience. He was able to just read the defense and make a play.
Nathan Fincham, head coach for Normal West, going to look at him there. 54 wins in 8 seasons with the Wildcats. Again, he's taken them to the playoffs every single year since he has been the Wildcats head coach.
Consistent.
1st and 10 and a short gain there for West, but again, Nick, this drive, West starting to kind of put some things together a little bit. I think they're keeping community off balance with a little bit of run, a little bit of pass.
Yeah, their dynamic pass and run game is helping them just drive down this field, which I thought would have been the start of the game earlier, but I'm glad they have found a groove as of right now, and it looks to be working. Hopefully they can continue this later on in the game in the 3rd and 4th quarter and, maybe sneak away with a win here, as it's not looking too good right now, but there is plenty of time from the 1st quarter all the way to the 4th. So hopefully they can keep this groove going and, cruise to a victory.
And yeah, West looking for their first victory in the series since 2022. I'll show you the series history here in a bit as Mangrum hands off to Mulbauer, wrapped up. Good tackle right there. Looked like Adrian Ramirez, 63 in white, was one of the first players there for the Ironmen.
Yeah, that is, he just snuffed that run out, got off of his block immediately and was able to sniff that run out. I thought if he was able to sneak through that gap, he could have had some open field, but no, he sniffed that right up.
And we talked briefly about Demarion Gardner. I don't see him on the field right now for Community. So again, Auxton guy to watch. Brady Wolf, also another senior. We caught up with him earlier this week as well. Trying to bring some pressure here on 3rd and 10. 4 wideouts, Givens in the lower slot. Mangrum looking his direction, trying to find somebody going across the middle, and a flag thrown. It was a marginal call, but they're going to get an Ironman secondary for that flag there. Looked like
a little bit of extra contact there at the end of that as the pass sort of sailed over.
And that was Mitchell Potts in coverage there of Givens trying to fight for position. And again, it wasn't an egregious call, but it was enough to get the flag. So again, West, 3rd down conversion, this time by penalty.
Yeah, and I think that is huge because that looked like it was going to stall their drive and they're going to end up having to kick this, which if you're Normal Community, you're a little upset by that 3rd down result. But if you're Normal West, you're happy. You get to keep the drive going, and hopefully you could score here. It's not a little bit of a gap there he found for I'd say about 4 yards. So great way to find the gap, get to the little secondary, the linebackers. Yeah.
So 2nd and 7 here. West kind of eating up some clock here on this drive, closing in on about 4 or so minutes at a drive that started at the 40 after that kickoff went out of bounds for the Ironmen.
And that was actually one of the notes I had written down was clock management. If they can keep Normal Community's offense off the field and keep their offense on the field, that is a success that they could hopefully ride out to the end of this game and sneak away with a win.
C.J. Payton in motion for the Wildcats as he tossed to Mulbauer off to the right side, running out of room, but still a good pickup. A flag came in from the near sideline late, so we'll see what this is about. 2 flags down. Our director, Caden Sexton, notes. And a little bit more flags than we talked about, not wanting to see a ton of flags, but we are seeing one about every few plays. I think it's usually about week 3 or week 4 is usually the time that high school teams start to reduce those flags. Those first weeks, a little bit more laundry than usual.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first 2 weeks for the players, first 2 weeks for the refs. So I know the refs are looking to call just about anything and everything as they want to make statements to these players, maybe say like, hey, you can't do that. We're not going to have that here tonight.
Personnel change here, and penalty was on Community. That makes it a 1st and goal now from the 4. Under 3 minutes to go. 1st and goal now from the 4. Here's the snap, and it's Malik Givens, the keeper. He's in for 6. Normal West punches back.
That looks like a very athletic quarterback there. I was not expecting him to take the direct snap. I thought he was going to get a handoff. I did not see that the quarterback was not on the field there. But way to find a hole and sneak that one in for 7. And if you're Normal West, that is a good sign. That means your offense has found a groove, and you are now back in this game.
Bring on the kicker to make it hopefully a 10-7 game for West. Givens showed off the versatility there. Here's Jace Fleming, who is 2 for 3 on PATs last week. Lines this one up. Snap and hold are good. The kick across and good. It's 10-7, and Malik Givens a 4-yard rushing touchdown. And Nick, that just again shows off his versatility. Last week, Efoy Baskins, a wide receiver for them, had a rushing touchdown. And again, Givens last year, no stranger to rushing the football. 357 rush yards, 401 receiving yards. So he's almost as good of a running back and almost as effective in the backfield as he is out wide.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know if you're the coach of Normal West, having those players who can play multiple positions and do multiple things on your team is a huge advantage. You know, being able to catch the ball, play defense, as well as run the ball is just phenomenal for especially younger players. You know, just, trying them out at every position, making sure they get reps and stuff like that. That is huge if you can have players do multiple things.
Now, West Sideline probably in much better spirits now after, again, that rough start. Community recovering that onside kick, then the flea flicker to start the game. Looked like we might be on pace for another Normal Community rout, but again, West not going to let them get away too far here in the first quarter. I want to thank real quick all of our crew helping us out here tonight. Mark Wagner, our producer, Caden Sexton, our director, Aubrey Degnan, Ryan Angelo, Joey Balonis, all here as well helping out. Thank you as well for tuning in our WMBD Game of the Week. Again, it's a big rivalry night, Nick. Lots of rivalry matches all over the area. Also, another Big 12 rivalry we have for you tonight with our Clutch Sports Media crew. They're at P&D Peoria High. You can watch that on ClutchSportsIL.com.
Yeah, if you're P&D, I think you're looking to bounce back after the 34-14 loss that you took to Normal West. I think if you're P&D, you look to get back in the swing of things, run the ball, and stuff of that nature.
Kick is brought back and wrapped up. That's Carmona again on the tackle. Mitchell Potts on the return for Normal Community. Return of about 10. They'll start at about the 31. But, yeah, Nick, look at this rivalry night. I mean, it's just an insane slate. P&D, Peoria High, Manual, and Richwoods. Bloomington and U-High right here in town. That's going to be a great game. The Route 9 rivalry in the heart of Illinois between DMAC and Tremont. Fieldcrest and El Paso Gridley, two HOIC teams that, again, don't like each other. Leroy and Tri-Valley, another local rivalry. And it's, again, Elmwood, Brimfield, and Farmington as well. And so many good games and between so many good teams as well.
Exactly. I'm excited to see the end of that P&D Peoria High game. I think that has a chance to be a really high-scoring game. Both offenses know how to score the ball.
And Community is pile-driven back by a pack of Wildcats who are perhaps a bit more pumped up now. That was Kretzinger on the carry and a pickup of 2.
They really got to that ball and got to that ball quick. You know, they snuffed out that run just like that, which is huge because, you know, if you take away the run, you kind of know what's coming, and that's normally the pass.
So here's Beatty out of the shotgun. They got an H-back here. That's tight end Lincoln Hoover. 3 wide outs, a little bit of a low snap. Beatty hands off. He's going to keep this one. No, he's going to pitch it out, and this could be a first down and much more. That was Luke Potts.
They were pulling out all the trickery today. You know, we've seen some onside kicks, some flea flickers, some pitchbacks. They're just pulling out everything.
The lateral there from Beatty to Potts, who, again, he was the guy that kind of triggered that long flea flicker pass to Michael Mavek. So now he's on the receiving end of it there, and it picks up a Community first down. They're moving quickly down to the 46.
Got to show off his speed there, too, in a little bit of open space.
Mavek in motion. Now comes back near us. Beatty looking to throw. Got Mavik in the flat, but they'll go across the middle. And a quick completion there. It's Luke Potts again, the junior wide receiver. He's been a busy man so far. 5 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown last week for him. He's staying busy tonight.
Hey, he's keeping up that momentum, and that's what you like to see. If you see a player's hot or playing good football to start the season, go back to him. See if he can continue that hot streak, and he has carried that into this game.
Approaching 1 minute to go here in the first quarter, but a fun one so far. Mavek, the motion man again. Beatty hands this one off. Kretzinger trying to get around to the outside, breaks an ankle tackle, and gets back to around the line of scrimmage. But a nice tackle there by Malik Givens, and a little bit of extracurriculars that got snuffed out right after that play with Taekwon Page and another Ironman in there.
Yeah, absolutely. That could have been a huge loss, but big play out of the running back, able to break 2 tackles there to get back to the line of scrimmage, and now you make your third down a lot more manageable with that.
It's a 3rd and 2 instead of maybe what could have been a 3rd and 7. Might be the last play here of the first quarter. And some pre-snap movement. Community thinks it's on West. And we'll see if they can pick up the free first down. And it looks like they will.
Talked about not being sloppy for Normal Community. Same kind of goes here for Normal West. You just can't have that. Especially on a big third down. You're looking to get a stop. You just can't have that.
And you get the long look there again at Lucas Beatty. Again, they passed the reins from one Beatty to another. He had 3 touchdown passes last week in a very strong varsity, at least his starting debut. He'll pass it again here. Got a man down the seam. That's Mavek. He's going to tuck and run. And not much doing there on the last play of the first quarter. It's Normal Community 10, Normal West 7. An action-packed first half here from a beautiful night at Normal West. We'll step aside and be right back here in our WMBD Game of the Week on CIProud.com.
Welcome to Sam Lehman of Morton.
We're the #1 Ram truck dealer in Illinois and the largest Ram dealer in the Midwest.
Stop in today and explore our impressive inventory. With over 400 vehicles in stock and more online, we can't wait to find the perfect vehicle for you.
Chrysler,
Dodge, Jeep,
Ram,
and more pre-owned options.
It's all waiting for you right here at Sam Lehman of Morton, where we do the deals no one else will.
We believe solar energy should be as dependable as the sun itself. Now, imagine your energy company felt the same way. In an industry full of overblown promises and hazy fine print, we're here to be the light in the dark. Ready to explore solar with a partner you can trust? Visit www.suncollectors.solar.
I can't get enough of that sunset, Nick. I don't know about you. And neither our director, Caden Sexton. I mean, might as well show it. What a night here in Normal. Maybe the sunset might be pulling a little bit more for the Ironman, a little bit more orange.
Yeah, it looks a lot more orange out there. So I think the sunset is saying it wants Normal Community to take this one down.
Well, later on, I'm sure it'll get a little bit darker, more black, and then maybe Normal West.
Yep.
We'll see.
Maybe the sky will indicate how this game will go.
For sure. Well, again, Community has the advantage 10-7, scoring a early touchdown from Luke Potts to Michael Mavek there on a flea flicker. First play of the second quarter is a completion to Holden Baldwin, who gets tripped up inside the 30. Trying to wrestle each other away. And again, Nick, you talk to both these coaches, all these players, and they say that, again, there are a lot of friends among these two teams. Guys that say that they go out to dinner together to hang out, but again, much different story on Friday night.
Absolutely. Having just like a rivalry in general always indicates that when the lights come on, when the lights are the brightest, these guys are not friends out there. After the game,
low snap, and Beatty had trouble with it. He's in lots of trouble, has to eat it back at the 40, a loss of 12, and a big miscue there for the Ironmen, their first of the night.
Yep, just can't. I mean, you got to. Just goes back to what Coach said, playing sloppy, mishandling a snap, losing a ton of yards. Now this is 4th down, and they're going to have to punt this instead of maybe setting up at least a field goal.
I don't know if Castro can hit from 57, which is what this would be if they were to kick. It looks like, again, kind of in no man's land. They might just kind of go for it, but maybe we'll see a pooch kick as well from Beatty.
maybe some trickery. They've already shown off a ton of trickery at the beginning of this game.
It's a good point, Nick, here's Beatty rolling out. He is going to kick this one. It's straight up. Lob wedge, it's going about 20 yards, takes a bit of a community bounce. Overall, not a terrible punt. They'll get about 28 yards out of that. It's down at the 12.
Yeah, the roll there at the end, the friendly bounce definitely helped him out with that one as they pin him right by the 10. Oh, yeah, yep, just outside of the 10-yard line.
Again, you don't need to kick it super far. You just got to get, maybe
got
a
to
good
get that
bounce.
friendly bounce. The friendly bounce is what you're looking for as a punter sometimes.
You see that a lot in the high school game. The quarterbacks also kind of double as punter sometimes, again, for reasons like that, to kind of keep them off balance. And sometimes, too, maybe they're just the most athletic, the best option.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely sets up for more trick play options, as that's your quarterback out there who can make a play.
So officially, West will take over from the 11 with 3 wide receivers plus Mulbauer in the backfield. He'll get it here, bounce it to the outside, makes one man miss, and then he is driven back. Look at all those orange hats.
They swarmed him like a pack of bees right there. Even though they're orange, he definitely swarmed him like a pack of bees right there.
Mulbauer, a gain of 3 there again. Last week for Mulbauer, he was a bit slow starting out. First 10 carries kind of bottled up. Then he broke through a 60, 70-yard touchdown run and then really kind of took off from there. Finished with 188 yards. And we're going to get
another flag
there on community.
Makes the second down a lot closer, although they definitely have 3 downs to work with. This just makes it a lot easier to get a first down here. You can now go into like your running package stuff you probably wouldn't run on a 2nd and long.
2nd and 2, they will give to Mulbauer, and he's going to get awfully close to the first down. It looks like he got enough to move the chains.
Yep, refs do move the chain, so we will see a first down here for Normal Community, and that flag helped them out there as he was able to just get enough with that 2-yard gain to move the chains and set up a 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
So 1st and 10 from the 22, and Nick, if West can really kind of milk this clock, have a long drive, they could eat up a lot of the second quarter going into halftime.
Absolutely, and that could demoralize Normal Community's defense, being on the field for so long, which they're not looking to do if you're the defense. You're looking to get on the field and off the field right away.
And a timeout called by the Normal West sideline. They'll talk some things over. Again, a little bit of a game recap for you. Normal Community had the onside kick to start the game. They recovered that kick, and they had the flea flicker on the first play from scrimmage. Went to Michael Mavek for a touchdown. Will Castro got the ball through the uprights for a field goal after an interception by Kamarion Coleman. And then West was able to finally put a big drive together, capped off by the Malik Given-Smith rushing touchdown from 4 yards out. So overall, Nick, I mean, you think both these teams are happy where they're at so far? This one's still early on in the season, still early on in this game too.
I think coming off of week 1, I think both these teams are pretty happy with their performances, especially last week and this week. Normal West has definitely started to move the ball a lot more as as game has progressed. They found their groove, and if you're Normal Community, you started the game out with a bang. I think they're pretty happy where they are to start this season.
Most certain, definitely. It's again both 1-0 on the year. They'll hand off to Mulbauer. They faked it to Baskins. He goes across the 25 before he's brought down in the backfield by Jalen Smith. Again, senior for the Ironmen, that plays a little bit of defensive back and a little bit of wide receiver too as well. Player that Jason Drengwitz very complimentary of.
Yeah, I like how they implement players on defense into offense. They really make sure these guys are playing both ways, as that could help you out into the college level.
Definitely. Again, look at a player like Malik Given-Smith, who's got offers from Olivet Nazarene, Quincy University, as well as the University of St. Francis. They might be able to take a look at him as maybe a wide receiver, maybe a DB. Mangrum looking to pass, going deep for Baskins. Incomplete. That was Micah Drengwitz, the son of Jason Drengwitz. In coverage there, had him right there, lockstep.
Absolutely. He went stride for stride with him, and he was not fooled at all by that look to be post route. So great job of keeping up with him, staying with the play. Even though the ball was a little overthrown, I don't think it would have mattered. He was right there, step for step.
And Nick, and I think both teams, as far as big passes go, I think a lot of them were kind of check down heavy. I mean, last week for Beatty, a lot of kind of screen passes that led to being big plays. They didn't go deep too much. Last week for Mangrum, about 9 yards per completion or so. So not a ton of big downfield threats. Here's Malik Givens, though, bringing one in. That's enough for a first down. You don't need 74 yards when 7 or 8 will do enough.
Absolutely. You don't need those big plays when you could just move the chains. Keep this drive going, keep the drive alive, and most importantly, keep milking this clock, which I think that's what exactly they want to do.
Kind of like a funny phrase I heard one time. Why say many word when fewer word do trick?
I think I've heard of that phrase. I think I have.
I think even that, I think there was maybe a few more words than really needed to be in that sentence. First and 10 from the 34. Mangrum and the Wildcats offense continues to keep on moving about midway through the second. Here's a handoff. It's Mulbauer running to the right side. Drengwitz had him squared up. Nice open field tackle. Gain of about 2 there. And community, Nick, is doing a good job of not letting Mulbauer break out a big long gain, any big, big house calls. I mean, he hasn't been able to get in wide open field just quite yet here tonight.
Yeah, he's had a few pretty long runs, but they've been able to keep him contained and, for the most part, keep him within like 2 to 3 yards per carry, which is huge, keeping him away from those big gains.
Looks like Drengwitz will have to check out for the Ironman, and they'll send in Michael Mavick to replace him at cornerback on this one. And crowd here tonight at Normal West. They'll see this handoff to Mulbauer. Again going to the right side. This time a little bit more. He steps out at about the 42-43. Makes it a 3rd and short.
Very, very third and manageable here. I think if you're Normal West, I think you go right back to the run. You saw some nice things happen there. It's a 3rd and short. No need to really throw the ball long here when you could just get a first down, keep the clock running, and keep these chains moving.
Running off tackle, the right tackle specifically, that's Jordan Stovall, the only returner on this Normal West offensive line. Pardon the hiccup there, but Stovall, again, a junior, very mature. Nathan Fincham mentioned that he wants to be a lawyer someday potentially.
Wow.
And again, he caught up with Jordan Stovall. Again, you can stay around for him and see him at halftime. Caught up with him earlier this week. 3rd and 1 from Mulbauer. Runs into an Ironman wall. It's going to be awfully close.
I think that, they are going to give it to him. Coach kind of, maybe Coach heard what I said up here. He went right back to the run. It got them the first, and they moved the chains.
Maybe he's got an earpiece in there watching live on CIPrep.com. Maybe we can think that. Is that the case? Definitely not.
Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, probably not. There's still chance. There's still hope.
Never know. Yeah, Normal West really doing a good job eating this clock. I mean, time just ticking away. These run plays especially helping them eat up this clock and just keep the ball out of the hands of Lucas Beatty and company in a very dangerous offense. Here's a handoff right up the middle, a burst of speed. That's Givens. He's tackled at midfield. Pick up of about 6.
It's a solid run right there out of Normal West. I think you go right back to it. It's been working. You've gotten a bunch of yards these past few plays. I think you go right back to it.
It's impressive seeing Givens Smith again. Not really the biggest guy out there. 5'9", 170, just takes it again right up the middle in between Jackson Hill and Caden Slagley, the West center. Trying to get into Ironman territory as Givens again runs right into it. Man, that's Colton LeCompte. He was ready for that one. Big linebacker and a returner for the Ironman, making a big stop there on 2nd down.
He was able to sniff that play out. I know I said they should go right back to it, but he must have heard me because he sniffed that out right away. Givens brought down almost right at the line of scrimmage.
Ironman make a substitution. Nico Salvati checking in at linebacker. We'll see him a decent amount here tonight. So another 3rd and 2, Nick. And this is where West is really honestly thrived tonight. Their best plays have came on 3rd down. They'll have Mulbauer and Givens, it appears, in the backfield.
And I'm interested to see what they do here. Their quarterback, Mangrum, is not out there.
Yeah, Mangrum's not out there. This will be a direct snap to Givens. He'll run it up the middle. He's got the first down, breaking through, a gain of 10. Ball comes out, but that was well after he was down. Malik Givens-Smith, MGS. What a player, showing off his versatility yet again.
Looks like a pretty fine quarterback if he wants to make the change over there. Haven't seen him throw the ball tonight, but maybe that's in his arsenal.
And again, West is not a stranger to having some creative players step in at quarterback. Last year when Drew Mangrum and also Payne Mefford, their second stringer, were both out, they brought in Cooper Temples to be their quarterback. Temples was a wide receiver, DB, ran the ball for them, and played quarterback for them in the last few years of the season. It led them to a playoff win over Chicago Simeon last year. Pre-snap penalty on Normal West. And Nick, talking about the playoffs, again, very early in the season, I think a lot of people would be surprised, very surprised, shell-shocked even, if these teams didn't make the playoffs. But Normal West, I think, for them, there's one team they really hope they don't have to see this year. It's East St. Louis. They face off against the Flyers for 3 straight years in the playoffs. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate to say the least, absolutely. Facing off against, I believe, is the #1 team in all of Illinois. In your first, maybe even second round matchup you're never happy as a coach or even a player.
Exactly, because I know Nathan Fincham last year said kind of shook his head when the brackets came out and found out that, hey, if we beat Simeon, we got to go play East St. Louis again. Again, just a juggernaut. They started off the year again. They're not just one of the best teams. Excuse me, not just the best team in Illinois. They're one of the top 25 teams in the entire country. They just lost by 1 point to Bergen Catholic in New Jersey last week.
Yeah.
So again, that's going to be a very good team. And East St. Louis comes in 7-2 sometimes. Their losses, they're not losing to P&D or Bloomington. Yeah. They're losing to some of the best teams in the entire country.
Yep. They travel a lot in the first 2 weeks. Their game this week got canceled and moved back to, I believe, 2 weeks from now. So we'll see how that game goes. Looking to bounce back as they're 0-1. But yeah, let's get back to this game. Timeout here. So we'll see what both teams do here. Timeout by Normal Community, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, 2nd and 15 here from the 43-yard line. And again, Normal Community in Class 7A, most of the time in the playoffs. Again, sometimes, with the playoffs, especially this year, there's going to be some changes. I don't know, Nick, if you know much about the enrollment changes that much. There's going to be some shifting around going that. Still, Community will play in 7A. West looking pretty comfortable to be in 6A. But while we have a moment, let's take a look at the series history. Nick, again, this is a rivalry that's been dominated by Normal Community as of late.
Absolutely. Normal Community is 11-1, as you see here on the graphic, since 2013 against Normal West. And I think if you're Normal West, nothing would feel better than a home victory against your rival. And it would definitely shift their last 2 matchups, as they haven't gotten a win since 2022, which was 21-4. A very odd score, 4 points.
Yeah, unbelievable. Talk about scoregami right there for all of our scoregami enjoyers. That is definitely one of them. Mangrum might keep this one himself. He'll tuck it in, run, put his head down. He took a lick. Yeah, pops right back up, though, at the 40.
He popped up like he didn't feel that hit at all, and that looked like it was a pretty big hit. So glad to see that he was able to take that hit and get right back up.
This is going to set up a 3rd and long for West. Might be 4-down territory again, about the 39-yard line. Not sure if their kicker Fleming can make it from 56 or not. This is a empty tray set here from Mulbauer in the slot at the bottom of your screen. Baskins there at the bottom. Keep an eye on him. They'll throw, looking for Mulbauer, brings it in. Took a hit, too, from Jalen Smith and held on, and more 3rd down magic from the Cats.
Absolutely. I think they should just play every down on 3rd down. They seem to just find a way to get it done on 3rd down. What a heck of a catch there by him through some tough coverage.
Mulbauer, again, not a huge receiving back. Caught one pass for 11 yards last year, but that time lined him up out wide, and he brought it in for a pickup of about 15 to 20 yards or so. And again, that clock continues just to eat away, Nick.
Yeah, they've had this ball for, I think, like 7 minutes. And if you're Normal Community's defense, that is not what you want to see, being on the field that long. As it's a nice play there, although there is a flag.
Screenplay there. Mangrum was looking, I think, for Givens, and there was some heavy contact. I believe Drengwich was the man in coverage. So we'll see what this is. Looks like Ironman is pleading with the ref there. That's Colin Kierfoot. We'll see what this play is. I think that's pass interference against the Ironman. So, yes, it can't even happen on a screen pass sometimes.
Yeah, no, most of the time that doesn't really happen, but the unlikelihood of it happening, it does happen sometimes. Which is great for Normal West, if picking up that flag there with a pass that went nowhere as he was able to sniff that out right away. But you still get a gain because of the flag.
And stay tuned for halftime. We'll have scores from around the area. We caught up with Normal Community and Normal West players as well as both their head coaches. So got some interviews with them to share with you guys and plenty more. And coming up at halftime here of our WMBD game of the week. Nick, they picked up the flag.
Yeah, I was going to say
it.
I was going to say it looked like they brought that flag back. They didn't get any yards off that, so if you're Normal West, you're pretty unhappy about that. You'll always take flags that favor you.
Hand off, Mulbauer running to the right side. He's got a hole inside the 15, inside the 10, stays up. Mulbauer near the end zone, a pickup of about 20.
That's a big run. That we were talking about earlier. That Normal Community has done a great job of containing him this game. However, he was able to find a hole there and make a big play happen when they needed it the most.
Big run there from Mulbauer, his biggest of the night. West up with the first and goal from the 3. So he'll get a breather. And look at this, Nick, is Malik Givens-Smith coming in at quarterback. Wildcat formation for the Wildcats again here inside the 5-yard line.
I wouldn't be surprised if he they call a timeout, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he passed it there. Kind of fool the defense. They're expecting him to take a direct snap and run the ball in. Maybe play some trickery and throw the ball there.
We'll get a timeout from Normal West there. So they'll talk things over here on 1st and 3. They probably given Smith going back in the backfield as quarterback. They're like, okay, we got to figure out what he is going to do here. Because, again, Nick, you said he can run it. He could maybe even pass.
Yeah.
We don't even know. Maybe West's trickery that Normal Community had earlier on in this game.
Maybe Normal West has taken some notes from Normal Community. It was like, you know what, you could throw trick plays at us, but we will do the exact same to you. So let's see what they do here. I think they keep their quarterback. Yeah, they keep their quarterback off the field, and they're going to go with Malik Givens at the quarterback position. So definitely a direct snap to him. We'll see if he runs the ball, passes the ball, or what he decides to do with it.
One look left.
I wouldn't be surprised here. I mean, they're stacking. Normal Community is stacking the box here with 2 receivers outright. So we'll see. And this looks like it's a run play all the way, but I could be wrong.
Hey, look there at Jason Drengwitz, the head coach for Normal Community. What type of defense does he have dialed up here? Givens-Smith diving in. It's going to be close. A scrum at the goal line. What's the verdict? Touchdown West. Malik Givens-Smith, his second rushing score of the night.
Well, so much for the pass attempt there. He said, you know what, I'll take this in myself, and powered it through, I would say, a good 4 or 5 Normal Community defenders there. Just showed off the pure strength and the help of the O-line there. Made that touchdown happen.
So Malik Givens-Smith, 3-yard touchdown and a 4-yard touchdown run here tonight. Showing off his versatility. He's just one of the most fun players to watch, Nick, because you just never know what he's going to do on any given play. PT from Fleming is up and good. It's a 14-10 West lead. And, Nick, this is massive for West after that start and after how the last 2 years have gone for this Wildcats team.
This game is a lot closer than it looks to be in the last 2 years, which is great news if you're Normal West. You're playing good football tonight. After that 10-0 start at the beginning, you're feeling great. You have the lead now. You manage the clock very well, and now the Normal Community team only has 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the half to score.
And you look at that Iron Invasion, they're a lot more quiet than they were in that first quarter. and they had to watch their defense trying to get stopped for a while, but now they'll see their offense, and you got to wonder, always got to wonder, with Aaron Rodgers, did you leave him enough time? Did you leave Lucas Beatty enough time to maybe lead his offense down the field for a score before the half? You never know.
I like the player comparison there. Maybe Lucas Beatty is the Aaron Rodgers of his team. Maybe he can lead them. I think he definitely has the talent to lead this team to a 2-minute drill and score a touchdown here. If not a touchdown, at least get some points here at the end of this half.
Well, Nick, as a longtime Bears fan, I'll tell you, I like watching Lucas Beatty a lot more than I like watching Aaron Rodgers, even though he's with the Jets now.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron Rodgers is actually on the Steelers, believe it or not, now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Here's a kickoff return and a big one for Community out to the 43. Mitchell Potts, a strong return.
Absolutely, setting up his team with good field position just off the kick return. That is huge if you want to score here before half.
Yeah, I got to brush up on my football knowledge again. I mean, Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers. I'm 2-2 with all the local high school football. I don't really follow the NFL or the professional leagues quite as much. This is kind of more my speed. This is the football I like to watch. But again, I don't have Aaron Rodgers on my fantasy team. He doesn't really offer that much in terms of the running capability.
Yeah.
Unlike Lucas Beatty.
Yeah, as we've seen here tonight, he's ran the ball a few times here tonight and picked up some nice gains. So definitely not just a pocket passer like Aaron Rodgers is.
Good field position here for Community. 1st and 10 from the 44 and 3 wide receivers plus Kretzinger in the backfield. Here's a screen pass looking out for Potts. Another busy guy in this first half. He gets tackled across the 49. Efoy Baskins in there on that stop and a few others for the Wildcats. Got to keep in mind that clock.
Yeah.
Just tick it inside of 2 minutes. Now, again, you do have Castro.
You also do have 2 timeouts to work with here if you're normal Community.
That you do. West has 1 to work with. We'll get an official stoppage here, I believe, with 107 seconds left to go in this first half. And keep an eye on Mavek and Taekwon Page. Match of the number 3s at the bottom of your screen. Here's a handoff. Kretzinger dives across. I think he got the first down yardage.
I think the refs are going to give it to him. The dive there at the end definitely helped him. And the refs gave him that first down. So a nice run out of him, able to pick up that first down and keep them out of third down territory.
And Nick, coming in this one, a note I had on Cole Kretzinger, he has really good lateral movement watching film. That time it was a vertical movement, and I got the first down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beatty to pass, looking to go deep, in some trouble. Potts couldn't bring it in. 2 Wildcats were there. Baskins is fired up after that one.
That was a nice play. He read the quarterback's eyes, made a read on the ball, and made sure that the receiver was not able to come down with that pass, which is huge if you're normal West.
Both secondaries, Nick, are playing really well tonight. Not a lot of wide open guys. Aside from that first trickery play from Community, these receivers have been blanketed by players like Given Smith, like Taekwon Page, like Micah Drengwitz and Jalen Smith all night long. It's been tough for these quarterbacks to throw downfield.
If you're Mangrum and if you're Beatty, that is not what you want to see. You want to see your receivers open. Being covered is not. That means you have to fit it in a tighter window, which kind of stinks if you're the quarterback.
Kretzinger ran outside, picked up about 10 or so. So that stopped the clock. And again, Community doing a nice job moving the ball down the field here. 1:14 to go. And it's got pushed out early. It's 3rd and 3 actually on the 38 now. Beatty tries again with a hard count. Good discipline there from West.
See what they draw up here on offense.
See if West brings any pressure here.
Oh yeah, that is true too.
He'll hand off. Is Beatty. He'll keep it actually. He's got the first down to the 30, running to the right side. Good block on the outside by Mason Caraway, one of the only returning offensive players that saw time last year for normal Community.
Goes back to that rushing upside that we were talking about. Able to make a play and pick up the first down there with his legs.
Mason Caraway, a younger brother of former Ironman linebacker Cooper Caraway. So again, a lot of kind of siblings. Again, you got the Beatties, the Caraways, a couple other players, the Potts. A lot of Potts have came through normal Community as well. 1st and 10 from the 31. Beatty looking to throw. In some trouble. Going to have to make something happen. Gets tripped up right by the line of scrimmage. And on that stop there for West was 54, DJ Morgan. Player that kind of rotates in on that D-line for West. They bring a lot of guys in on that D-line. They have about 6-7 guys that they can rotate in, keep fresh. Keegan Brown plays offense a little bit. You got a big guy, Marquel Gibbs, 6'1", 340 in there. So if he needs a breather, can switch guys in like DJ Morgan and a couple other guys, Romeo McCollum too.
Absolutely. Having a D-line that you can always interchange and bring new guys out who play just as good as the guys who are out there is great for your defense.
It's been a wild first half and a very fun one too. Again, if you were expecting this one to be, the way it's been the last 2 years, which has been a big blowout, it's not been the case. This one, I think, Nick, may come down to the wire. We've seen some great games here at Normal West in the past. I think this one, so far, has the makings of another one.
Absolutely, and if you're a football fan, which everyone who's watching this probably is, you love to see close games, some nail-biters. Maybe if you're a fan of Normal West or Normal Community, maybe you're looking for a sort of blowout win here, but always got to love those nail-biters.
Definitely. I remember week 2 last year, we did Normal High in Bloomington. It's right down the road from here. That was an absolute barn burner of a game. 41-38 came down in the final drive. 2nd and 8, and whistle blows before the snap, just before it. And we get a timeout called by Normal West. So now they are now out of timeouts here in this first half.
I'm interested to see what they're talking about in this huddle here. Maybe switch up the defense. You didn't see something that you liked out there if you're a coach, as well as Normal Communities. Maybe draw up a different play or something like that. Maybe go back to the same play. Maybe you think that'll work. So I'm interested to see what they do out of this timeout.
I certainly am as well. Again, 29 yards to go till pay dirt, 52 seconds to do it. And a lot of offensive weapons. Again, maybe guys that maybe didn't know about last year, but guys like, again, Jalen Smith, again, Cole Kretzinger played second fiddle to Kalen Taylor. Holden Baldwin, another guy that, again, has waited his turn, a senior, now getting a chance to shine. This community offense is full of those guys that just, again, very good players, could start on any other team, but we're stuck behind some fantastic players last year like Marquand Gary, Kyle Beatty, Kalen Taylor, and many others.
Absolutely, and they're showing here tonight why they have a case as to why they they should have been starting on any other team. But they're here tonight. They're making plays, and they're competing at a great game as
Screen pass for Potts inside the red zone. Big pickup there. Now Normal Community definitely in business. They can easily score.
Beatty looking like Aaron Rodgers out there leading this 2-minute drill. Off to a great start. They're inside the red zone here.
And there's that screen pass to Potts, which has done really well for them all night long pretty much. Again, they were able to do that. And you're going to look at the West Soccer Field behind us. West Soccer off to a good start. We'll touch on the other teams for both these schools at halftime as well. Beatty keeps it inside the 15, twirls around before he's brought down by Josh Edmondson, backup linebacker for the Wildcats. Clock taking a run inside 35. They'll go no huddle.
4 receiver set over there on the far side.
Kretzinger is out wide. Receiver at the bottom of your screen. That's 34, Chase Caston. And they toss it to the outside. Enough for the first down. Again, clock's still moving. It will stop for the first down. Ironman still has one timeout left.
I think if you're the Ironman here, I think you go with a run play. And if you don't get anything, you call a quick timeout and determine whether or not you should set up for a field goal or go for a touchdown. I could also see a pass play, like a quick slant over the middle, working well. Got to stay out of those linebacker regions though, because that won't end up well for you if you're a wide receiver.
Is that your play call in Madden? Your first and goal from the 5?
Yep. We're just running quick slants. All 3 of my receivers are on them. Normally it doesn't work out for me, but maybe it'll work out for the Ironman.
I'm a big stick guy. I like getting that tight end on the curl route, whatever. Big body guy. Can go and get the ball. pretty safe route too, but again, it's been a while since I played some Madden.
I also like my tight end on nice drag routes over the middle. You know, can get them in stride and let them make a play.
We'll see what the Ironmen do here on 1st and goal from the 5. Beatty leading his Army down with limited time to go in this first half. West student section on their feet. Beatty rolls out, looking to find someone. He's got Mavic. He's got him. Touchdown, Ironmen. They might have the last save before the halftime buzzer.
Absolutely, and they did not do the 3 slants that I thought they were going to do. They ran all out routes right there, and one of them was open, and it worked, and it got in the end zone. And if you're the normal community, even the fans, that is a sigh of relief as they laid a great 2-minute drill, hoping to be capped off here by their kicker with an extra point.
Mavic's second touchdown catch of the game puts community back in front. That's really big, and going in the halftime locker room, you're feeling good. You know, there's that more energy as Castro's PAT is, again, no doubter, makes it 17-14. So unless MGS has some more kickoff return magic in his back pocket, looks like community might have this slight advantage going into year to halftime.
I'm wondering what a normal community will do here on this kickoff. They've switched it up every time on the kickoff, so I'm interested to see what they do here.
That's a fair point, too. I mean, only 10 seconds to go. You figure West could probably only run maybe one play. Maybe it's a much lower risk than it normally would be. That's a good point. We'll see what they do. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see these teams, again, maybe kind of resort to some of that, you know, kind of those crazy plays. You know, maybe you draw something up in practice all week, you know, just maybe even just run it one time. But if it works out, that's a huge, you know, big play. And again, if it wasn't for that flea flicker at the start, again, West would still be ahead in this one.
Absolutely. I think if you're a normal community, though, I think you just go kick it down to the back of the end zone, hopefully. No chance for a return. You know, that way that sets them up on the opposite side of the field where you want them to be, and they really don't have much time to make a play.
So we'll see Castro again kick this one off. He's got touchback potential. That is for sure. He has to get a T over there from the west side line. Nathan Fincham tosses it over to him. So he'll set this up on the left hash rather than right in the middle. We'll see if there's any rhyme or reason to that here in a few seconds.
You see the student section getting into it in the back there. They're hyped. Their team's winning. I think this could. I'm surprised Normal Community or Normal West isn't making some noise over here to sort of counter it.
Here's a kick from Castro. It's a deep one. And caught at the 10. Here's Malik Given-Smith. Making a man miss. Oh, this is Baskins, rather. Flag down. Baskins in open field. Brought down at the 44, but this might be coming back. West will have a chance to run a play regardless of where they're at. Might have more work to do, though, than they bargained for. That penalty or maybe a hold or a block in the back brings it back.
And if you're Normal West, that is something you just don't want to hear from the referee. You know, a big return sets you up in pretty decent field position, even though you have 2.6 seconds left. That's still pretty good field position. You can make a play out there, but it does look like it's coming back.
Again, you know, we haven't talked a ton as much about Efoy Baskins, but he is just as dangerous as Malik Given-Smith. Similar build. Givens 5'9", 170. Baskins 5'10", 160. Both play wide receiver. They also cornerback. They're both wide receivers that can run the football as well, and they're both very fast. So
as he just showed us here, right there with that kick return.
So we'll have one more play from the 14. West may just be content just to kneel this down, take it in the locker room, or maybe hook and ladder play potentially here.
Some trickery.
Community will send a few safeties deep. They got Potts, Smith, and another man, I think Brady Carroll back there as well. Last play of the first half. Mangrum sends Given-Smith in motion. They'll hand it off to him, and why not? Given-Smith trying to get to the outside. He's got some blocks across the 30. Oh, he can't stay up on his feet, does a somersault into the sideline, spikes the football, and that's how the first half ends. 17-14 community lead.
This has been a close game, and this is what we're at. We were asking for a close game at the start of this, and that's exactly what we've gotten here in the first half.
What a game so far. This has been a nail-biter, and this could be, Nick, one of the Chili Bowls that people talk about for a long time, the way this first half has been shaping up.
Absolutely. I think if you're a fan of both teams, you could sort of appreciate how this game has gone.
Yeah, Normal Community is so big for them getting that last word in before halftime. Again, how about Beatty? Again, this is just his second varsity start, leading his team down the field to score in a 2-minute drill. Get a key touchdown before the half, and I can't help but wonder, he probably learned that from his older brother, Kyle Beatty, as well.
I would have to agree there. He sort of took his brother's words, maybe of wisdom there, and helped him lead them in a 2-minute drive that ultimately ended up getting him 7 points. So if you're a Normal Community, especially if you're the coach and the players, you're happy that that first half ended the way it did.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here on our WMBD Game of the Week, and great game here in Normal. We'll be right back after these messages here on CIProud.com, where we caught up with both teams' head coaches as well as Normal West. Stay tuned.
Peoria Production Solutions is a unique not-for-profit manufacturing company. For over 80 years, our mission is to be the premier employer of individuals with disabilities. We are committed to providing employment, training, and encouragement to people with all types of disabilities. With 300 employees at our 2 facilities, we continue expanding our capabilities and growing our team. We are Peoria Production Solutions. Higher performance, higher standards.
Trade up to a better future. Trade up to a job you enjoy. Trade up to trade school. At Midwest Technical Institute, you get the skills you need to start a career that moves you up in life towards your goals, your passions, and your dreams. Choose from programs including welding, HVAC, medical and dental assisting, medical coding, and more. Earn the experience, knowledge, and confidence to change your life. Trade school is just the beginning. Start your journey today at midwesttech.edu.
At Bob Grimm Chevrolet in Morton, we're out to sell $20 million of new Chevys in 2025, and we'll do whatever it takes to hit our goal. We'll save you thousands by discounting every new Chevy in stock and giving more for your trade. We'll check all the options to get you the best interest rate, plus every rebate possible to save you even more. When we sell a new Chevrolet, each of the 365 days this year, we stay on track. Will you be the next to make our day and be our one new Chevrolet? The math is simple. One new Chevrolet every day. That's the Bob Grimm way.
Willow Lane Yoga and Wellness is now open at 7800 North Summer, featuring yoga, mat Pilates, reformer Pilates, and our exclusive to the area Fuse ladders. Find out why we're different at willowlaneyoga.com.
We are Local Union 649. Our commitment to safety, our state-of-the-art training facility, and our pride in the work we do to build America is what makes us stand out from the rest. We are Local 649 of the International Union of Operating Engineers, and we are looking for the next generation of equipment operating apprentices. With Local 649, you'll find more than a career. You'll find a family, creating legacies since 1917.
Wright's Furniture in beautiful downtown Pontiac provides the highest quality furniture for your home. Kick back and watch the game in one of our cozy recliners, or experience a wonderful night's sleep in one of our luxurious mattresses. Visit Wright's Furniture for comfort and quality.
Mornings can be crazy. We get that.
Boy, are they. But don't worry, we've got your back.
Breaking news, we've got you covered.
The stories everyone is talking about will keep you in the know.
Sunshine or storms in the forecast will help you plan your day.
Sheridan Hertig, Renee Skinner, and meteorologist Nathan Kitchens.
And we'll do it by making you smile.
Because how you start your day matters.
WMBD This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 7. Central Illinois proud.
Welcome back to Normal West, between a great rivalry game, the Chili Bowl happening between the Ironmen and the Wildcats, and Ironmen lead at 17-14 here at the half as the West Band gives us a performance, and they're doing, again, great job as well. But again, we had a great time catching up with both these head coaches, Jason Drengwitz and Nathan Fincham, 2 veterans on each sideline for both of these squads. We got to their thoughts about the Chili Bowl, also about how the Chili Bowl name got started. Do they have an answer? Let's find out.
I literally have zero clue on why it's called that. It was called that, I think, before I got to Normal, and I got to Normal in 2004, I think. But I really have no clue. We just know it's called the Chili Bowl, and it's a game between two crosstown rivals that love to compete against each other.
I don't know why it got started. That's a WJBC thing, I think, and it's a unique name, and it makes it a lot of fun having like a traveling trophy and having something to kind of give it a label. So it makes it a lot of fun. Well, I think I can speak for the players. I think there's a lot of overlap there with maybe junior highs, different things like that, to where they're all friends. They all kind of get along for the most part, except for this week probably. So I think there's a decent amount of friendships across both schools. In regards to myself and Jason, he's a great guy. We get along really well, probably a lot better than what people probably would expect. We work really well together. We have a couple things that we do throughout the off season, but it's just kind of great to always kind of meet up with them and talk with them and collaborate with them. So
they're all so special, just because the environment that you get to play in. You look at one side, it's jam-packed all black with normal West colors, and our side's either all orange or all white. I just remember the atmosphere, because not everybody gets to play in environments or atmosphere like that, so we just feel blessed. Obviously, when we win those games, it's special, but I just think being blessed enough to be a part of something cool like that in a high school football game on a Friday night here in town.
And Jason Drungwitz saying that it's so blessed to be part of this rivalry. It's a great game here in town. I mean, it feels like maybe not everybody, but a lot of people here in Normal are at this game. Again, you got so many connections. Even our director, Kaden Sexton, said one of his professors at class this morning was a native of Normal. She was a Normal U-High grad. But again, anyone that has ever lived in Normal has a connection with Normal community or Normal West in some way, shape, or form. Another guy I want to shout out, Wyatt Wheeler, writer covered Missouri State for the longest time, on to New Horizons. But again, sports media personality for a long time down in Springfield, Missouri, does a fantastic job. And again, he's a proud Normal West alum. So Wyatt, if you're tuning in tonight, hope you're doing well, and hope you enjoyed that first half from your Wildcats. It's been a pretty close one here so far. Again, as we take a look at the rivalries around the area, we got Normal Community and Normal West, and obviously this one, Manual Richwoods, Bloomington and Normal U-High as well. We'll get those scores to you in just a second here after a few minutes. But Nick, overall, first half takeaways from both squads. What'd you like? What'd you didn't like? What was cool, fun, interesting?
I like how Normal Community started the game. I like how they were able to mix up some stuff, throw in some trick plays, keep everyone off guard. It kept us off guard. It kept Normal West off guard. So I think they need to implement that more in the second half. I also like their 2-minute drill that they ran there at the end. They were able to pass the ball, sling it around, and get a big chunk of change in some yards early, and find the end zone. As for Normal West, I like that how they were able to bounce back after the 10-0 start to this game, and it made this game a lot more interesting heading into the second half. Their offense has found a groove. Their defense has found a groove after the start, and I think they just stick with the game plan, switching it up, running and passing. They've done a great job with that.
And speaking of Normal West, we caught up with some of their players. Cody Mulbauer and Jordan Stovall were gracious enough to give us some of their time after practice earlier this week. Get to hear from them about this special game as well.
This week means a whole lot. We came into the week with a different mentality from any other game. So considering our records from last year, it's time to lock in, and it's time to get some things done in terms of this team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Since it's a rival game, we always have a lot of hype around this game, and it means a lot more to us. So we've lost them in the past 2 years, so we kind of want to get back in the action.
Man, it would mean a lot, especially for our seniors. I'm personally a junior, but I'm doing it for them. Past 3 years have been kind of rough in terms of community for that team, so we want to get them one before they leave.
It'll take everything we got. We've been practicing really hard this week. Everybody has to be locked in, so it'll take everything we got to beat them. Yeah, I run winter track, and I used to run track with all these guys in the summer, so I grew up with a lot of them, and I'm best friends with a lot of them. Used to hang out on the weekends and stuff.
Yeah, man, so a lot of the guys, we'll go out to dinner or something after practice, after a scrimmage, so it's going to be real personal. I played JFL with a lot of the guys, so it'll be nice to see them on the field again.
For sure, but on the field, different story?
Oh, completely different. It's go time on the field. No smiles, no laughs.
And here you got to hear from, again, who Nathan Fincham calls the future lawyer, Jordan Stovall. Again, returning starter and just a junior on that defensive line, or offensive line rather, for Normal West. As you get to hear the band play, providing some great halftime entertainment here from Normal West. Again, it's Ironman 17, Wildcats 14, and what's turning out to be a great edition of the Chili Bowl here on what's becoming an increasingly chilly night here as the sun starts to set in Normal. So we're going to take another quick break, a quick word for CSM Overtime, your new place for all your high school sports news, scores, and much more in the area. We'll be right back with those halftime scores and much more right after this.
Central Illinois, we're going to overtime.
After 4 years of preps covered in Central Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams,
Your stories.
your stats and standings.
your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts.
As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds.
CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action.
More stories.
More coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
Welcome back to Normal West. About a few minutes left to go here in halftime, and Jonathan Michael here alongside Nicholas Giuseppe. And Nick, always one of the more fun times, for me at least, each broadcast, checking it out. What else is going on in the area? Let's start out. Let's take a live look in at our Peoria High and Peoria Notre Dame game over between that game on CS, Clutch Sports Media. Not pulling up right now. Technical difficulties there, but yeah, you can watch that game live on ClutchSportsIL.com or our YouTube channel. Again, Peoria High leads that one 28-0. So, yeah, we weren't quite sure if we'd have a close game or a blowout in either of these games. Looks like we got the close one, then you got the one that's not so close. But again, P&D still some time to come back, trying to get back to 1-1 on the season for them.
Absolutely. I think I was definitely thought that game was going to be a lot closer than it is right now, but they still have a half to play, so they could definitely turn that around if you're P&D.
Take a look at some other scores around the area. The first one I'll mention is the one I see right now, and I picked against them in CSM Pick'em. I thought about making a cheeky pick again. Clutch Sports Media staff made all their picks for 11 of these week's best games. I picked Elmwood Brimfield to maybe make a big upset over Farmington. Well, Farmington leads that one 40-0 at halftime right now. So the Farmers are rolling to a state semifinal team from last year. Look at some other games. Princeville beating South Fulton 14-0 for those up near Peoria. Metamora, LaSalle, Peru tied up 8-8 in the second quarter. That's a close one. Eureka 21-0 over Peru St. Bede at halftime. How about East Peoria, Nick? 35-0 over Springfield Lanphier.
I was not. I'm actually surprised that game is as much of a blowout as it is right now. Obviously, they still have time to come back with it still being the first half. But I think Peoria High is going to continue to run away with that game.
And also in the middle line, I had two. Canton leads Taylorville 15-6. Canton nearly a winner last week, but fell just short against Herscher, so they're up in the second quarter. Galesburg and Limestone. Corey Bielema, new head coach at Limestone, looking for his first win. They're tied up with Galesburg in the second quarter as well, so good signs for the Rockets. More around Bloomington Normal, El Paso, Gridley, and Fieldcrest. Another rivalry match we talked about. EPG 28-6 leading in the third quarter. Ridgeview, Lexington Bloomington and Hayworth, a good small school game. Mustangs lead at 7-0 in the third quarter. Back to the middle line, I have Belleville East leading Pekin 13-0 in the second quarter. Bloomington UI, another game we were talking about as well. Bloomington leads it in a dandy 13-7 just before halftime. Last time we got an update from that. So ASSA will want to keep an eye out for sure, because Bloomington, a team that lost a lot of seniors from last year, was very good, but maybe proving that they can still hang around with these teams here in Bloomington Normal. Lots of great teams all around.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to see how that game finishes. Just like you said, I mean, they have a close game just like us, a nail biter with just 13-7. It looks like both defenses are playing great football over there, and we'll see. I'd like to see how that one turns out.
DMAC leads Tremont 28-0 at halftime. Again, Gibson City Melvin Sibley leads Fisher 36-0. Washington 7-0 over Triad. Tri-Valley 14-7 leads over Leroy into the third quarter. So again, lots of great games going on in the area, but we can't wait to bring the second half of this one. We'll step aside for a quick break and come back with the second half right after this. You're watching CIProud.com, powered by Clutch Sports Media.
Walk to Bowl is your flavorful destination for Asian cuisine and culinary artistry in Bloomington. From curries and stir-fries to noodle bowls, desserts, and more, Walk to Bowl has something for everyone. Experience the flavor from our bold and exciting menu today.
Family banking from a name you trust, Hometown Community Banks. For over 6 decades, we've been here right where you needed us. High-quality banking services delivered by caring professionals, people just like you who live and love Central Illinois. It's a history we're proud of, and one we'll continue to offer to every person who walks through our doors. When you bank in your hometown, your money stays in your hometown. Hometown Community Banks, divisions of Morton Community Bank. Look for the clock tower and you'll know we have time for you.
Passionate, focused, strong. Qualities that you look for in a great athlete, and also a great lawyer. At Strong Law Offices, injury law is at the heart of what we do. Our team is on your side. When the game is on the line, let us tackle your claim.
Looking for something fun to do with your canine friend? Join us on Saturday, September 27th for Bark in the Park, our annual fundraiser. Raffle baskets, mutt show, cakewalk, and more. Proceeds go to help local animals in need. Learn more at peoriahs.org.
Welcome back to Normal West. Nick, as you said during the break, popcorn is smelling pretty good. I bet a lot of fans getting that here at halftime.
Absolutely. I'm thinking about getting some myself. I might just leave the booth here and go get some.
I don't know about that. We got a football game ready to be played. But again, outside of football, and again, both these schools doing great things in other sports too. Let's take a look at around the horn for Normal Community. Volleyball on top of the Big 12 right now, the 5-1 record. Their boys soccer team 2-0 in inter-city play, the tournament where they face all of the schools around Bloomington Normal, play kind of a round robin, so they're off to a hot start and doing good things. Girls tennis, winner over Champaign Central yesterday as well. As for Normal West, they're also 2-0 in inter-city play in boys soccer. They're off to a good start. Val Walker's got that team rolling well. Volleyball up in LaGrange, up in the Chicago suburbs tonight. And then cross country, Renee Warren, part of a lethal girls cross country team that West has this year. We'll be following them this fall again on CSM Overtime. She won the Normal West invite last Saturday. So a lot of good things going around. Again, not just the football teams, for both these squads. These are, two very well-rounded athletic programs that just, again, are very competitive in just about every single sport.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that fuels more to the rivalry when both teams are playing competitive in not just football, but across the board in sports.
So it will be Community to receive the second half kickoff. Again, they pretty much got the first half kickoff after recovering that onside kick right off the bat. We'll see if West maybe gives him the same favor, pulls a little Saints in the Super Bowl from a few years ago. Kick is away and brought in at about the 18-yard line. Here's Mitchell Potts out across the 30, across the 35, pushes over a man, almost trucks him across the 40.
It's a nice return to start off the second half. Sets him up around the 40-yard line. So yeah, that's good field position if you're Normal Community.
And again, just the way that first half ended, Community gets the ball back, you can feel like you almost get like a 2-for-1. I mean, you can again, really just kind of put it on West and maybe get back up by 10 points like they were earlier in this one if they can end this drive with a score.
I want to see if they sort of milk some clock here, if they go kind of like quick firing, they try to throw the ball around. I want to see what they do here on this opening drive of the first half.
That'll be 1st and 10 from the 41. Kretzinger in the backfield. It's been mildly busy here so far tonight. Pick of about 4 before he's brought down by Keegan Brown. Brown had Big 12 conference or all-conference honorable mention last year. We have a Wildcat down on the first play of the second half. Might be a D lineman for them. And it's hate to see players go down, especially early in the season. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Again, you hate to see players that get injured early on and have to miss a lot of the year. They worked so hard for this moment.
Yeah.
So hopefully whoever that is okay. West is a team that dealt with so many injuries last year. Almost it seemed like everybody on that squad was banged up at one point or another. They still find a way, though, to manage because they have a lot of good depth on that squad.
Yeah, and I like the respect here. Even though it is rivalry weekend, both teams taking a knee for the injured players. So I'm glad to see that both teams showing a sign of respect and hoping a future well-being for the injured Wildcat.
And I don't know who that is right now, but we'll let you know in a bit. Again, Community 2nd and 5 from the 46. And, Nick, too, again, I'm wondering what the approach is for both these teams in the second half. We saw West, really melt the clock a lot. Community a little bit more of a quick strike offense in that first half, but I think they also would be content just to keep the ball to West's hands because, time of possession definitely wins you some football games.
Absolutely. I would say I think Normal Community tends to hang on the ball here. They milk some clock, try to get a scoring drive going here, keep the ball out of, like you said, Normal West's hands, and win this ball game here.
And we'll see what again, Beatty has been impressive so far. Both quarterbacks, again, have been playing pretty well. Beatty, again, I think don't have official stats, but I think Beatty's completed a bit more, maybe has a bit more yardage, but he's been able to kind of get it done, especially in that screen game. And, I mean, his rapport with Luke Potts has been very that's been the key connection tonight for the Community offense is Beatty to Potts.
Absolutely. I think if you have that receiver that you can go to that is going to make a play, that helps you out as a quarterback, especially down the line. When you're looking for somebody late game that you could throw the ball to and is going to make a big play for you. And Potts has been that guy tonight.
Definitely, again, it's been Michael Mavek, though, the one that scored both touchdowns for Normal Community, as their injured player was Romeo McCollum. That would be a big loss. Hopefully he is okay because McCollum not only plays D-line, he also is their left tackle on offense. Just became a two-way player or kind of a time-and-a-half player just this year. So, again, good to see him. He's getting off on his own power. So hopefully just maybe a bit shaken up, and hopefully he can return because, again, that would be a big loss on both lines.
Absolutely. I'm glad, like you said, I'm glad to see that he was able to walk off on his own will as well. That shows you some good signs for the future that he was able to do that and not need to be carried off the field.
So 2nd and 5 here for Community. Handoff, it's Kretzinger again up to about midfield. And Nick, these are two bell cow running backs. I mean, Kretzinger and Mulbauer are just getting a ton of carries for both of these squads.
Absolutely, and they've busted out, I wouldn't say a lot of big plays, but they have helped push their offenses respectfully to a bunch of major first downs.
And we'll see a 3rd and 1 here. This is where West has thrived. We'll see if Community can pick up the yard over to the Wildcats 49. 3 wide receivers to the left. Almost a near jump there on the D-line. Beatty barks out the call. Page looking to come off the edge with a blitz. He'll hand out to Kretzinger. He's running left side. He's got the first down and much more. Kretzinger cuts it back. He's still on his feet. And, boy, he is just so quick. And some great blocks, too, on the outside, set up by Brady Wolf and Joshua Owens on the left side of that line.
Absolutely, and I know I just talked about them not having very many big plays, but that was a big play right there. Got a big gain there, sets them up in enemy territory, and they're right about at the 30-yard line. So they're where they want to be to start this half.
Also some good blocks, too, on the outside from their wideouts, too, including tight end Lincoln Hoover, helping clear space for Kretzinger. Now from the 31. Three wide receivers. Baldwin at the bottom of your screen. Beatty rolling out, looking his way. Looking for Baldwin. No, he's looking for Potts, who was wide open, but he overthrew him. The first miscommunication between Beatty and Potts all night.
That definitely had big play material right there. He was wide open. Wasn't able to make the connection, but I know if you're looking for a play maybe to go back to the later of the game, that might be your play right there, as he was wide open down the close sideline.
Looks like him and Baldwin kind of ran kind of a crossing route. They just kind of, intersected pass there and try to kind of confuse the West defense. We have a flag down. That is against Community. Or no, it's rather picked up. So that's, I think, the third flag tonight that has been picked up by the Zebras. Or rather, no, that was not picked up. That was a 5-yard penalty. So 1st and 15, pardon the correction. Four down linemen for West on this one. I'd be expecting to run. Kretzinger and Beatty run into each other, lose the football. It's loose. I think Kretzinger fell back on it, but a miscommunication there. This is going to set him well behind the chains on 2nd down.
Wow, I mean, they've lost, in the past 2 plays, they have lost, I'd say, about 10 yards, which is not what you want to see after those big plays that they were just capable of doing. So let's see if they can pick it up here on 2nd down and make this 3rd down a lot more manageable.
Keep an eye again on Given Smith at safety and Baskins in coverage. Normal West DBs have done a nice job tonight. Beatty looking for a screen to guess who? Luke Potts again inside the 40, cutting back before he's pushed down by Given Smith. Limited him to a gain of about 6 or 7.
I think if you're Normal Community, you'd like a little bit more yards there, but yards nonetheless, and you'll take that if you're Normal Community with how the last 2 plays have played out.
If I'm West, I'm keyed in on Luke Potts. I'm maybe pressing him at the line almost the rest of the night, because that's where a lot of their yards have came from through the passing game, has been that screen to Potts. Right there, here's the 3rd and 12. Big play in this one. Can West get off the field and get their offense back out there? Beatty looking to throw. Now he'll hand off. A draw play to Kretzinger. He'll pick up a few, and he got tripped up. 2 guys were in there for West, including, again, DJ Morgan, 54 in black, making a nice stop.
And I think, they are going to bring out the kicker. So that is a huge stop for Normal West, especially with how that drive started off. That's a huge stop. They hold him just to a field goal, if he makes it, obviously. But if you're Normal West, you're happy with the way that ended up. So I think they can carry that into offense. Their offense has looked great tonight, besides the opening of the first quarter, but they have looked great tonight. So
this would be a 45-yarder from Will Castro. Big kick for high school, but he's got a big leg. It's all in the way. It's slicing. It is no good. Went to the left and not quite sure if it had the leg, but a valiant effort. West will take over on their own 35.
And if you're Normal West, we just saw the crowd get hyped. If you're Normal West's players, you're hyped too. That drive had everything to do with a touchdown. It looked like it was going to be a touchdown all the way, but Normal West buckled down. They did what they needed to do, and they ended up getting the stop.
Again, that momentum shift goes a little bit more in West's favor now. Again, started big time with Community, then went back to West. Stayed with the West for a bit, then it went back to Community going into the half. So maybe we are due for another swing back the other direction. The West will take over rather at the 20 rather than the 35. With Mangrove out of the shotgun, Mulbauer to his right. Given Smith, the motion man. He'll reverse it to Mulbauer, and right away, Community had him lined up and ready to go. Kellen Ogston, our player to watch, got in there, as well as Brady Wolf, the DNs.
I thought it was going to Givens all the way. I was shocked they ended up switching up and going the other way, but Normal Community sniffed that out. They were on top of that. Great open field tackle there, because if he doesn't make that tackle, there's a lot of space to work with after that.
Colin Curefoot in on the tackle too for Normal Community. Just a 5'6" junior, but plays with a lot of heart. They'll send Mulbauer. He's in motion to the outside, passing down from Mangrum, looking to find somebody. No flags. Very tight coverage there by Brady Carroll as Mangrum was looking for Baskins, I believe.
As we talked about in the first half, both of these secondaries, Normal West and Normal Community, have been great tonight. They've left receivers with very little room, and QBs have to, if they're going to throw the ball, they have to fit them in tight windows, which if you're a defense, if you're a DB, that's what you want to see.
That was actually Devin McLeod, the intended target for Mangrum. So again, another West third down. 10 yards to go. They need the 30. Mulbauer, the lone man in the backfield alongside with Mangrum. Now they'll send him out. Mangrum, good protection, looking to throw. Got Malik Givens on the comeback. He sheds the man. He's free. Malik Givens-Smith in the open field is not what you want to see if you're a Normal Community. And it takes 4 or 5 Ironmen to bring him down after a gain of 45.
Just as I said about the secondaries, Malik Givens says, you know what, I could show you what some offensive players can do, as he just breaks free, broke a couple tackles there, and looked like he was going to carry 4 defenders with him to the end zone.
It's hard to believe, just looking at the roster, that Malik Givens-Smith is only 5'9", 170. We've seen him run up the gut with no fear, and we see him carry defenders as well. He is very strong. 45-yarder on that comeback route there. A nice throw from Mangrum. Here's Mulbauer, met in the backfield. 3 orange hats are ready for him there, including Murphy Brennan and a few others, including Kellen Augston as well. Community, I think, wanted to make a little bit of a statement, kind of pushing him back after that one, after giving up the big play.
Yeah, they were like, we're not having that big play, so we're going to make a statement here, and they definitely did. Sniffed that run right out. I think if you're Normal West, you go right back to the pass. It was open. Maybe you look Givens' way, or if not, you look others. They have a bunch of playmakers on that offense, so I think they go with the pass here.
Again, Baskins hasn't been super involved tonight. Maybe try and get him going a bit more. Malik Givens-Smith and Mulbauer doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of yardage, taking this Wildcats team down the field as they try and tie this one up or take the lead. Mulbauer with the head of steam inside the 35. Again, those are those runs that not super attractive on paper, but you look at it and it just keeps the defense honest, grinds them away, runs the clock a bit. Nothing wrong with a little 4 or 5 yarder there to set up a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, absolutely. You will take yards however you get them, whether that's a 4-yard run or a 4-yard slip screen. You'll take your yards.
So another 4 wide receiver set, probably a passing down for West. Ryan Carmona and Baskins at the top of your screen. C.J. Payton and Givens on the bottom. He's got Payton on a nice wrap-up tackle there around the ankles. Quentin Barton got hold and did not let go. That sets up a 4th and about 4 or 5.
And if you're Normal Community, after giving up that big passing play to Malik Givens, that is what you'd like to do in response. A quick 4 and out, or 3 and out, I should say, right there. But I do think, the Normal West community is going to stay, Normal West is going to stay on the field here.
A good spot to do so at the 31, kind of no man's land. Mangrum tries to get with a hard count. Community does not bite. Sign of a disciplined team there. They worked on that a lot during the offseason. 4th and 6. West trying to keep the drive going. Fincham tells Mulbauer to get over to the other side. Now he motions out. Mangrum looking left towards Givens. And not anywhere near him there on 4th down. Miscommunication. And a little maybe of a misthrown ball there is, again, Givens wasn't really looking his direction either.
Yeah, I think Givens had an idea that he was running a longer route there as the quarterback. I think he had him on like a comeback sort of route there. Either way, he was kind of blanketed in between 2 Normal Community defenders there, as the safety was over there as well as the outside corner. So he kind of had a tight window to fit it in.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit hard just kind of getting that play call, that communication in, because, community student section was making noise. West student section also kind of making some noise as well. You saw Nathan Fincham jump up and tell Cody Mulbauer to get over there, probably struggling to players for them to hear their head coach. Again, it's loud down there when the whole town's watching on Friday night.
As well as I saw Baskin earlier in the play jumping up like, what's the play, what's the play?
Here's a carry by Beatty, and he has met with some authority. A good tackle there from the linebacker, Nasir Hurd, a player who Nathan Fincham said has been playing some very good football lately. Didn't even dress varsity as a sophomore, barely played last year. Now he's a senior and a starting linebacker for this West defense.
And looking at his last week totals, 8 tackles, that's nothing to slouch about. That is a great game for a linebacker, and he's looking to carry that over here tonight.
Yeah, that was second most on the team, only second to his teammate and linebacker, A.J. Holly, a sophomore and a new starter as well. Beatty lost the football. It's on the ground. West may have it. It's going to be a fight, and West does have it. Recovered by the D-line. Looked like that was 25. That's Marquell Letcher, the junior, falling on the football, and West gets it right back where they had it.
And if you're Normal Community, you know, we said this, they cannot play sloppy, and they've had, I think, 2 miscommunications there on the snap that last time it ended up being okay as they were able to fall on it. Unfortunate this time that the defense recovered that one.
Well, again, you talked to both head coaches. They both almost said word for word, you can't make mistakes against the other team because they will make you pay. And again, Community got lucky maybe that first time, but probably not going to get lucky 2 times in a row, especially in a rivalry game like this. It's just the way the football bounces, the way the football gods have it. So 1st and 10 from the 31. Mangrum and company will trot back out there. And we'll get a whistle and a flag coming from the back judge. A penalty on West. So that'll move them back 5. I'd like to see West maybe try and get back to the run. You know, Mulbauer has been fairly solid tonight.
Yeah,
not outstanding, but very solid.
He's been productive, to say the least. And if you're Normal West,
here's Mangrum on the
he's just
keeper.
Wrapped up in the backfield there.
Had to run for his life, but he was brought down by a couple of Ironmen. We have an injured one down. Murphy Brennan and Kellen Ogston brought down Mangrum, as well as the injured orange hat down there. Again, the Wildcats will take a knee. This game has seen a bit of everything, Nick. We've seen trick plays, we've seen onside kicks, we've seen flags, we've seen sacks. We have seen all sorts of things. That's the first time we saw Mangrum carry that ball. Looks like Kamarion Coleman is the downed Ironman.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Normal Community, that's a huge blow to your defense. Kamarion Coleman, he had that interception earlier, and he snuffed out that QB sneak, or not that QB sneak, the QB draw there. So if you're Normal Community, that's a huge blow to your defense.
And Coleman does the sophomore linebacker. We said it earlier again. If you start as a sophomore for Normal Community, that's a great sign because they're just a program that doesn't really start many sophomores. I mean, usually it's a lot of junior, senior, one senior class graduates, the next crop comes on through, and it's just kind of that churning, that revolving door or whatever. But Coleman is back up on his feet. It's a good sign for the Ironmen as well. So good to see both him and McCollum both kind of get up on their own power as they went down today.
Absolutely, and if you're a Normal Community, as like I said for Normal West, that is a sigh of relief. Seeing a player be able to walk off the field with their own power, that's just something you like to see.
So out to find the next man up for them in terms of their linebackers. And Kierfoot out there, he's had a good game. Colton Lecomte again, kind of the anchor of that linebacking core as well. 2nd and 19 here. Again, that was a big loss from Mangrum. He lost 4 after getting swarmed by some Ironmen in the backfield. Handoff goes to Givens. He tries to straight to the outside, and Community was ready for it. That's Lecomte making the TFL, making it 3rd and 20. Or rather, that was Baskins on the carry.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I would have liked to see a pass there. You know, it's 2nd down and a long 2nd down. I would have liked to see a pass there, but I don't mind the jet sweep that they ran there. Just Normal Community way to play great defense there and sniff out that jet sweep. So we'll see what they draw here up on 3rd down.
And Baskins had 4 catches last week for 34 yards. Number 2 wide out for the Cats. I don't think he's had a catch so far tonight. Ran the ball a few times. Mulbauer running a wheel route. Mangrum looking across the middle. Pass is broken up. Incomplete. Colton Lecomte making back-to-back big plays. won't forget that anytime soon, making plays in the Chili Bowl.
Absolutely. I mean, he looked wide open there, and he was able to catch up to the ball and make a heck of a play there on the ball to break up that pass. And I think Normal West is going to stay out there for this 4th and 20.
I'll roll the dice here instead of trying to play the field position game. Mangrum was looking for the freshman, Marshawn Williams. Wide receiver standing at 6 foot on that play. Bunch set. We'll see if Mangrum can get on the same page as his receivers. Ironman student section making some noise again. 4th and 20. Now Mangrum backs up. He's going to pooch kick it. And this is looking good. It's going to bounce. It might be downed at the 1-inch line.
Wow.
Drew Mangrum, quarterback and punter. Ball was at the 41. He put it out at about 40 3/4 yards.
I don't know who.
Great coverage, too.
Yeah, I don't know who covered that ball, but that is great coverage by whoever that was, as well as a heck of a punt there from Mangrum. And if you're Normal West, that is great. That's you're in great setup right there. Even though you had to punt, that is a great punt and something you love to see out of your quarterback.
Well, a safety wouldn't give them the lead. It would make it 17-16, but it would give them some momentum. So Community just has to get a great push from their offensive line just to get out of the end zone on this one.
As well as it would give them the ball back to make some more magic happen.
So again, Beatty sitting about halfway back of the end zone. He's out of the shotgun on this one. Low snap. Beatty is going to keep it. No, he's going to run, flag down. Going to throw it, floated, caught at the 24. A nice pitch and catch there. We'll see if it stands. He was looking, I think, for either Lincoln Hoover or Luke Potts over there on that left side. If this is on Community, I don't know how much more he can back them up. It might be like 2 millimeters.
They might be right on the goal line.
Half the distance to the goal. That already is not very far. It's a hold on the Ironman, so yeah, I think the tail end of that football is probably going to be touching the goal line.
I think it might be over the goal line a little bit there. So as much as that was a great play, we'll see what they have here on another 1st and 10 as the holding sets them back. It was a nice play. I definitely thought Beatty was going to keep that and run with it, but he ended up throwing it to his wide open receiver who's down the far sideline. So let's see if they go back to that sort of play or if they just run the ball and try to get out of this predicament that they are in.
You get a great look there at how close that ball is to the goal line, right on the edge. So again, 1st down, they'll do it again. Beatty looks to throw. He's got his man, and Kretzinger just barely gets out of the end zone. Nathan Fincher puts his hands up saying safety, but I think Kretzinger lunged just to avoid giving West the 2 points.
We've seen both of normal Community's running backs lunge for that extra yardage, and that kept them out of safety. So if you're Normal Community, that might have been a sigh of relief for you right there.
That was a risky play, pass on essentially the 1-inch line. Looks like they may do it again. Well, 2 wide receivers here. Beatty was called out a signal to his tight end Hoover. 2nd and goal, or 2nd and 10 from their own shadow, essentially. Kretzinger stays on his feet. He's still going across the 20. There's a lot more breathing room and a pickup of 20.
Absolutely, and I'm surprised they didn't go with that on the first play for 1st down. I definitely thought they were going to run to get out of there, but nonetheless, it works, whether that's on 1st or 2nd down.
I think if Kretzinger was able to not have to turn around, got turned around by a defender, I think if he just would have gone in a straight line, he could have maybe even taken that to the house. I mean, he had some good blocks on the outside. Under a minute to play here in this 3rd quarter. Kretzinger bounces it to the outside and a mid-range pickup there near the 40. And we still have not seen either team score in this 3rd quarter, but I mean, just the tension, Nick, is just mounting. We're gonna have a 1-score game. We're gonna likely going into the 4th quarter.
We're gonna have a nice nail biter going into the last quarter here. Which, if you're that kind of football fan, that's what you like to see.
Those fans over there loving it for Normal West. No one's leaving early tonight. That is for certain.
Yeah.
And tell your friends, tell your family, tune in to CIProud.com. We got a great one brewing here from Normal. 2nd and 5 for Beatty. Mavic in motion, doubles back. Hand off to Kretzinger, and he is wrapped up. Normal West was all over that one. The big fella, Markel Gibbs, getting in there on the stop at 6'1", 340.
Yeah, he sort of just shoved off that block there. You know, big power out of him. And if you're a coach, that's what you like to see. He was able to shove the lineman out of the way and make a nice tackle there for a loss.
You know, those interior alignment for Normal Community, again, Joshua Owens, Zach, even Mitchell West, all three of those guys pretty big, all very strong guys. But, again, if you're going up a guy that's 340 all night long, sooner or later he's going to kind of push you aside eventually. That attrition's going to set in. But as time ticking down here in the third quarter, we will head into the fourth with a one-score game. Normal Community has the ball. They lead it 17-14. Heading into the final stanza in our WMBD Game of the Week, powered by Clutch Sports Media.
Wright's Furniture in beautiful downtown Pontiac provides the highest quality furniture for your home. Kick back and watch the game in one of our cozy recliners, or experience a wonderful night's sleep in one of our luxurious mattresses. Visit Wright's Furniture for comfort and quality.
Looking for a getaway close to home? Discover Mackinac Valley Vineyard, wine country in your own backyard. Sip handcrafted wines on the wraparound deck. Take in stunning views of the rolling countryside and make memories that last a lifetime. From relaxing afternoons to lively weekend nights, there's always something happening, like outdoor concerts, festivals, and private events under the stars. Come for the wine, stay for the experience. Visit MackinacValleyVineyard.com to see what's on our calendar.
Willow Lane Yoga and Wellness is now open at 7800 North Summer, featuring yoga, mat Pilates, reformer Pilates, and our exclusive to the area Fuse ladders. Find out why we're different at willowlaneyoga.com.
It's winning time here at Normal in the Chili Bowl. Normal Community has the ball 17-14, and those students having a very fun Friday night. And, you know, Nick, we get to call this game. You know, we're having plenty of fun up here in the booth.
Absolutely.
But I bet it's got to be fun for both these student sections as well. They have showed out and been loud all night long.
Absolutely. They've been cheering all night. They've been jumping up and down. You would have liked to see a bigger scoring game if you're Normal West or Normal Community student section. But
Ball comes out. West has it. Was he down? That's the question. It does not appear that he was. It looks like West is going to start this fourth with a turnover. One of their first of the night. That's two straight possessions, though, with fumbles for Normal Community and some rare mistakes for that offense.
Yeah. I think that was great tackling, right? It looked like he sort of punched the ball out of there. And who was it? Kretzinger, who's been great all night tonight. Just a rare mistake out of him as he coughs up the fumble, and as Normal West steps up shop in almost the red zone.
I think that might have been Ryan Carmona that fell on the football for Normal West. Again, swarm of black shirts as soon as it hit the ground, and West knocking on the door of the red zone here in the fourth quarter. Mulbauer the handoff. No, it's Mangrum. He's got open space. Actually, that was Givens again, tricking us even still in the fourth quarter, but Givens showing his running skills off.
Absolutely. I mean, he looked like it was just an extra burst of energy there, especially in this late game. So the stamina is definitely there. The speed is still there. He's had a great night tonight, and he's looking to carry that into the fourth.
And Nick, Drew Mangrum, the quarterback, was not ready on the sideline. And so Givens came in at quarterback out of the Wildcat, hands off here to Mulbauer. Mangrum still on the sidelines. They pick up a few there. But, again, Malik Givens, when got to be ready, well, he was ready there. So he might be leading this team the rest of this drive.
Yeah, it looks like he's staying out there. And Mangrum is staying on the sidelines there. So we'll see what they draw up here. Maybe a passing play. Maybe we get to see him throw the ball.
Well, also, too, again, I don't want to harbor say Mangrum wasn't ready or it was a mistake, because there have been, most times they've been in the red zone. Givens has become the Wildcat quarterback most of the time.
Especially near like the 5 or closer. He has come in and taken direct snaps as the quarterback.
So 2nd and 8 here from the 11. West probably going to rush it here, and it's Givens. He is brought down. Kellen Ogston, first man there, coming hot off the edge. for the Ironmen. Big third down looming here for West, but you got to treat it essentially like it's 4-down territory, maybe. And if I was their kicker, Jace Fleming, I'd certainly be warming up right now because you might be called on to tie this ball game up.
Absolutely. I think they should go with my Madden plays, the slants. I think that works here.
Mangrum back in at quarterback. Givens will head to the sideline. So no Givens on this play. Baskins at the bottom of your screen. C.J. Payton in the slot. 3rd and 9 from the 12. What does West dial up here? Mangrum says, get to my left side. Now he motions him out. He's scanning, looking for the slant, just over the hands of Baskins. It was a good ball in a good spot, but Baskins at 5'10" just wasn't quite tall enough.
Absolutely. I think they heard the Madden play, the slant there. Sadly wasn't able to connect with him in the end zone there, but they should get 3 here, although I think the offense is staying out there for this 4th down, maybe trying to draw them off sides.
That's the indication. Well, again, even an offside wouldn't give them a 1st down, but West, again, just playing aggressive. You know, they're not coming to tie this ball game up. They want to take the lead. 4th and 9. Mangrum trying to get a big completion here on this play, and Jason Drengwitz calls timeout. 10:05 to go here in the 4th, so the Ironmen will have 2 remaining. Givens getting looked at on the sideline, so he might be a bit shaken up again. He has been active all night long again.
Yeah.
Just the football's in his hands every other play, it seems like.
Yeah, and when that happens, that comes with a lot of wear and tear on players. He's jogging back over to the huddle, it looks like, so he's looking like he's ready to get back out there and make a huge play here. I don't know if they're going to keep the offense out there, but if they do, a huge play here on 4th and 9.
Again, can never be too cautious. That's a good timeout by Jason Drengwitz and company. A quick look at our other game. Peoria High leads it still 42-15, so both teams have added 2 touchdowns in that second half. But the Lions, Nick, I mean, they look very good this year, and whoever wins this one, whenever they play Peoria High, that could potentially be the de facto Big 12 title game.
Absolutely. I think Peoria High has a big chance to beat both of these teams. You know, their offense is putting up big numbers. They look like a great high school right now, and I think if you're Normal Community or Normal West, you definitely got to look out for that.
4th and 9. Here we go again, and a false start. I looked like maybe by Givens. Not sure if it was offsides. It was a false start. Givens got a bit too jump happy, trying to get a start on his route, and that'll back him up to the 12 or 17-yard line. It's 4th and 14 now.
And
that's a backbreaker.
Looks like they're going to keep the offense out there. They're really trying to score a touchdown here.
Ironman student section, loudest they've been all night. Another flag before the snap. This one might be on Community. We'll see. Community signals it's on West, and it is back-to-back pre-snap penalties. And just like that, Nick, you're knocking on the door of the goal line. Now it's 4th and 19 from the 22. And now, I mean, you have to, I think, to go for it because I don't know, again, exactly sure what Fleming's range is. But it'd be about a 39 or 40-yard kick.
I think now you got to take a shot to the end zone. I mean, the 1st down is at the 3-yard line. I don't think you're going for the 3-yard line.
End zone or bust, most likely here. Mangrum looking to throw underneath route. Givens in through his hands. I don't even know if he would have got there anyway. Big play and a big stand for the Ironman defense.
I think the flags there, they just killed that. They killed that 4th down try there. I think if you don't get either of those 2 flags there, you're able to do a lot more with that play call. And who knows, maybe Givens on that little drag route finds the end zone on 4th and 9.
Yeah, Givens is the guy that can break out into space, but again, he had about 4 or 5 white jerseys within a few yards of him, so it would have been tough for him to get at least down to the 3-yard line. At 4th and 9, I think maybe he might have been close, but Ironman will take over 1st and 10 on the 22. Again, neither team has hit the scoreboard yet in the second half.
If you're a defensive coach, you're feeling pretty good about what you've been doing so far. Offense looking to find their marks here for both teams.
Kretzinger's got lots of blocks to the outside. He's still going. He meets Givens head to head and bowls him over. Tensions at an all-time high now, and coach is telling him to get back, telling Kretzinger to get back on the field and do that again.
He's like, I'm looking to see that one more time out of you, not just once. Let's make it a common thing here.
Letcher coming off the field quickly for West. Quickly, now Kretzinger running again to the right side. More nice blocks and another first down.
He looks like that fumble never happened. He has just ran the ball well here on this drive, as there is an injured Wildcat. Check up to see who that is, but back in that, he has run the ball like that fumble never occurred.
And again, you got to have just a short memory. And Cole Kretzinger so far has done that with back-to-back big runs. And again, just not even a minute or two ago, West was looking like they were going to go up 21-17 in the blink of an eye. Community's got the ball in Wildcat territory. The chance to, if they can cap this off, make it a 2-score game.
I think with the way they've been running the ball, I think you just keep going back to it until Normal West proves that they could stop it.
And Kretzinger is starting to come alive. Again, you feed him enough, he's going to break something free. Looks like that might be Carmona on the far side. As down, you get a look, and again at West, just look at the tradition. I mean, playoffs in 24, 23, 22, 21, 19, 18, every single year back to 2010. They have not, other than COVID year, which doesn't count really in anyone's books, they have made the playoffs every single year. And they have won the conference a few times as well, and mostly recently back in 2022. That was the last time they beat Normal Community. So again, a win over the Ironmen. Maybe it sets up a Big 12 title. Who knows?
I think they have a huge shot. They got to get through Peoria High first, who's been looking like a great football team to start this season. But
and that'll be a big-time matchup. Again, Community plays Peoria High in Week 9 at Peoria Stadium. I'll tell you right now, we got our eyes on that one. We may show up to that one. And Normal West plays Peoria High, I think, in just a few weeks or so. So that'll be a big-time matchup as well. But back to this one here. This one has not disappointed. Community with lots of momentum here. We'll see if they feed Kretzinger again. Beatty will drop back to pass. Across the middle, wide open. No one around, and guess who? It's Luke Potts. And Potts is in for 6. Recovers it. It will stand.
That was a heck of a draw by the Normal Community coach right there. I was expecting a run. Probably Normal West was expecting a run. He was wide open up the middle of the field. Huge shout out to Malik Givens, who made that play a lot closer as he was able to punch that ball out. It looked on like at the half a yard line, but it was a lucky bounce for Normal Community as it goes right back to Potts, and he's able to corral that in and make the touchdown.
Back-to-back weeks for Lucas Beatty with 3. Well, he has a second touchdown pass. The first one was a passing touchdown by Potts. Now he receives it, and Community leads by 2 scores. Castro's PAT is through, and it's a 10-point lead with 9:33 to go.
I think if you're Normal West, I think you look to shake that off here, and you go right out there, and you start throwing the ball around. Show them that you can light up the field, light up the scoreboard, and get a quick score here and maybe a quick stop.
Again, they responded well to that early setback in that first quarter. Normal Community scores first play from scrimmage, and by 7:05 in the first quarter. Or rather, no, that was Castro's field goal. But either way, West was able to punch, but they got punched, but they came back and punched right back. Again, I think it started with Malik Givens. I think you have to get a big play from MGS to claw back into this one.
Absolutely. In big-time moments, you look for your big-time players. And I think if you're Normal West, you look his way at least twice on this drive.
We'll see what they do. Again, Normal Community just came right back. I mean, that was the best-looking drive I've seen from them all night.
Yeah, they looked like they could run the ball at their free will, pass the ball. It looked like just an overall onslaught out there on offense right there.
So they'll kick off here. And again, lots of noise coming from the Ironman students section. Their enrollment of just over 2,000 or so. I would say that there's probably at least 500 students over there.
Yeah, they sure know how to pack a student section.
And West, they're bringing out lots and lots of fans as well. They're looking for something to cheer about here in this fourth quarter. Still plenty of time for them to make a comeback. Castro's kick is high and relatively short. Bounces in the hands of Baskins. Givens throws a block. Baskins trying to string it out to the outside. He gets brought down at the 20, and tripping him up was Colin Kierfoot.
That looked like it could set up to be a major kick return. It was a nice open field tackle there as he was able to get, I think, a shoelace it looked like, and sort of trip him up there. So nice open field tackle as it contains the return.
And again, big-time tackles for both these teams. Again, this game could be much different if it wasn't for a few kind of shoestring tackles.
Yeah.
There have been some guys that have been just about ready to break one free. When up in the last second, they go down.
And that could turn that could be demoralizing to an offense at some point, because you're looking for that big play and he just gets tripped up there at the last second.
It showcases the speed and the athleticism of both of these teams, really. Mulbauer is going to be brought down. A whole pack of Ironmen are there for the stop, and man, Nick, Kellen Ogston had a little bit of a slower start to this one, but every play in the backfield, he is in there.
Yep, he's either making the tackle or he's helping somebody else bring him down, along with, it seems like, 4 other defenders, as they are all over that one.
2nd and 12. West looking to go forward on this one and avoid a 3rd and long. Four linebackers here for the Ironmen. Mangrum looking to throw. Coleman bringing pressure. There's a screen, and Mulbauer couldn't bring it in. Might have been some open space there. But, man, Coleman was really bearing down on Mangrum in there. Good to see him back out on the field as well.
Exactly. And, he looked like he never missed a beat. He was on. He's been everywhere tonight. So glad to see him back out there, and he looks like he's never missed a beat.
Yeah, he came in hot. Haven't been a lot of sacks by either squad. There's been some big tackles in the backfield, though. 3rd and 12, another big one for Mangrum and company. Need a completion here. Mangrum looking, intercepted! Jalen Smith will take it to the house. Community leads it.
And that might have just turned this game upside down. That is heartbreaking if you're Normal West. There is a flag, though, on the play.
We'll see what that's about. Might have been on the return, but, well, we talked about wanted a completion if you're Mangrum the Wildcats. He completed it, but unfortunately to the wrong team is Jalen Smith. I mean, was all over that one, just kind of was waiting for it. He took it right back and just beat out Mangrum to the pylon. We'll see what this laundry's all about, though. Just in the blink of an eye, Nick. I mean, again, there was that fumble to start the 4th quarter. Unsportsmanlike on Normal West, it looks like. But again, there's a fumble to start the 4th quarter, first play of the quarter, and had the ball right down there. 3 minutes later, might be a 3-score lead if Castro can put this. Is a very important PAT.
Absolutely, because if for some reason he doesn't drill this, now Normal West has a chance to go score twice and get 2-point conversions, and now this is a tie game.
Some long faces there in that community or that West student section. A few fans start to hit the exits. I'd say it's a bit too early for that. There's still 8:34 to go, but what a 4th quarter so far, and what a response to adversity. Bad snap. They're going to have to run this one out. Here's Potts looking to make something happen. He's running for it. He's got it. Luke Potts makes the 3-score game. That is a big, big conversion for the Ironmen when they didn't draw that up.
I don't think the coach drew that up there, and I think Will Potts was surprised that he had to scramble and get out of there. He was able to make the 2-point conversion, and just like that, instead of what would that have been? Instead of a 31
No, it would have been 30 to 14.
Oh, 30 to 14.
Still would have been 2 scores.
Yeah, okay. Never mind.
How about Luke Potts, though? Again, a player that maybe not even really a technically maybe not even a starter for Normal Community, but he has been on the field a ton and making so many big plays in this one, Nick. I'd say if we had to pick a MVP of the game right now, I'm saying it's Luke Potts. I mean,
I
2-point conversion, passing touchdown, receiving touchdown
Touchdowns,
as well.
Yep, and he's been all over the field in terms of receiving games as well. Not just the touchdown. He's gotten a ton of screen passes drawn up for him, and he's made a lot of plays out of them.
Well, again, if you're Normal West, as hard as it seems, you cannot get down in the dumps. You got to get something back going. You got to find that momentum, find that spark, because, again, there is football left to be played. You can't play this 8:34 and just throw in the towel.
Yeah, and I don't think if you're Normal West, you go to the big plays here. I think you sort of try to chip away, find the end zone, get a stop on defense, and to do the same thing again on offense.
So, again, that unsportsmanlike was actually on Community, pardon the correction there. So they kick off from the 25. It's kind of a spiraling kick from Castro. Mulbauer has it at the 14. Out across the 30, got some blocks. Here goes Mulbauer. He's got open space. Does the Wildcats have the response? See ya.
Talk about not trying to make a big play happen. There's a big play right there.
No flags on the field. Cody Mulbauer returns at 86 yards.
Last week it was Givens for 92, and now it is Mulbauer for 87. And I think they're going to keep the offense out there, maybe go for a 2-point conversion here.
And try to make it a 10-point game. Great blocks from the special teams from Normal West. And boy, they didn't waste any time getting right back into it. And again, special teams guys, they got to be ready. They said, hey, we'll be the ones that make the spark. And Cody Mulbauer takes it to the house.
Got to show off the speed there too, as he just started cruising up the sidelines. He found an extra burst as soon as he hit that corner, and he found the house.
So West will try to make this one a 10-point game again. And I think maybe those fans that may have headed for the exits maybe should be taking a U-turn.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. If you left early, and you sure missed a big play from Mulbauer there. And they are going to keep the offense out there. They're going to go for 2.
Kind of a closely bunched up set. Mangerman the shotgun. He's going to fling it back to Baskins. He's got wide open space to the outside. It's a 10-point game again. Foley Baskins.
It just seems like they cannot put this Normal West team away. As soon as something goes Normal Community's ways, Normal West finds a way to respond almost instantly.
We say at Clutch Sports Media, Normal West is like a roach. They just won't go away. 32-22. This Chili Bowl is not over yet. Normal West says that, we're still hungry. We want to eat some chili here tonight. Again, it all comes down again. You got to make a stop, and ideally, if you're West, make it quickly. That way Community doesn't have a long clock-eating drive. You got to get the ball back quick.
Absolutely. They still have 3 timeouts. 8 minutes left, so there's still plenty of time to get a stop, a score, and another stop.
We'll see what West does. I mean, maybe it's too predictable at this point. Maybe onside here.
I think that's a little bit too predictable. I think you just go for the stop if you're Normal West. Although I would not be surprised if they tried an onside kick here.
And that was the first action of this game, recovered by the kicking team, Normal Community. And after, again, a third quarter where there was no scoring, now in the span of just a few minutes, it's gone from 17-14 to 32-22. It's lined up. This could be an onside. No, they will try and kick it in no man's land. Bounced it and brought in. Oh, this could be recovered by West. Maybe not your typical onside kick, how you draw it up. Delayed reaction. It's Community football.
Wow.
Although it was close.
Yeah, I definitely thought West got there and was able to recover that one, but huge sigh of relief there if your Normal Community has, even though they didn't draw up that kind of play, it almost worked out for West's favor.
I think on this drive, Nick, again, I'm forecasting, if I was a meteorologist, I would say there's probably about 100% chance of Cole Kretzinger on this drive. Got a 10-point lead, 8:21 to go in the fourth.
I would agree. He had a great run on their last drive. He had multiple, actually, able to truck a lot, make a bunch of defenders miss and make some big plays.
And West I have 3 words going through their head right now. 3 and out.
Absolutely.
3 and out. That is what they would really need right now. Beatty, clean handoff to Kretzinger. Good blocks on the outside, pirouettes, and he's got a first down, a pickup of about 14 there.
Just as you said, like maybe 5 seconds ago, there he is. Making a nice big gain of 14.
Good blocking by the Ironman wide receivers, too, again. When they have that trips on that side, again, they've been able to open up some big holes. Holden Baldwin and Michael Mavick, Jalen Smith clearing the way for Kretzinger. First down again, to the right side yet again. A first down yet again.
And I think if he didn't trip up there, I think he could have had a big chance to take that to the house.
And West, a team that maybe looking slightly gassed on the defensive end right now. I mean, again, they played a physical game last week against P&D. It's been physical here tonight. But again, can you keep it up for an entire 48 minutes? And I think Community may be kind of trying to attack that weakness right now.
Absolutely. I think if you're Community, you continue to attack that weakness.
Clock inside of 8 minutes. Community inside of Wildcat territory. Beatty keeps this one, stays up on his feet. He's got blocks. Lucas Beatty, the QB keeper, down to the 20, a pickup of 23. 3 chunk plays on the ground for the Ironmen.
And they completely had Normal West fooled there. It looked like that was going to Kretzinger, and it ended up being a quarterback keeper, and he was able to take that for a nice big gain of, like, I think 23.
Yeah, about 43 down to the 20. Again, clock restarted again after that first down. Ironman in no hurry. Play clock at 16. They can afford to take their time. And again, if you have Will Castro, can make this a 13-point game. But again, get the touchdown right back. And it's probably a 3-score game back again. And trips right. And they'll move in one of their wideouts. That's Mavick getting the handoff. He's brought down. 2 flags come in at the same time, giving Smith on the tackle.
I think they're indicating it. Yep, it's on Normal Community. I think it was a hold, and it's coming back a little bit.
So they'll set Ironman back 10. And now if you're West, this is where you cannot afford to give another first down. You got them in 1st and 20.
Yep.
You got to, again, get to the outside. Most of Community's runs have been bounced outside of the tackles.
Absolutely. So I think if you're a corner, you have to be on the edge of your toes over there. Most of your runs have come in outside. So I think if you're a corner, you got to buckle down over there and make a nice open field tackle.
So 6:39 to go in this 4th quarter. Still plenty of time. We've seen some crazy things in high school football, especially in these rivalry games. Again, you can throw the records, throw the history all out the window. It's a whole new game every time you play it. And West, again, looking for that first win since 2022. That's their only win in the series in over a decade. Kretzinger going to the outside, breaks the tackle, goes forward and picks up something. Alex Carter, a safety, was there for West, but again, Kretzinger with his speed able to evade him.
After the flag, it looked like they were able to pick up most of that yards back. So they're back to a little bit of a better second down. It looks like it is 2nd and 14. So yeah, you didn't want the flag, but a little bit better of a situation here after the 1st and 20.
So 2nd and 14 as we have a timeout or an injured player here on the field. Again, beautiful night here at Normal, Nick. I mean, can't really ask for much more. Clear skies, beautiful sunset we saw earlier, and I mean, it's perfect weather. It's, sometimes early September, you're kind of still sweating it out, kind of sweat out the dog days of summer a little bit, and summer's still trying to hang around. It really does feel like the middle of fall right now.
Yeah, I know. I feel like the weather is like, you know what? I've had enough of that heat. We'll transition into fall, and this is perfect football weather.
I feel bad for all these cars driving down the interstate. They can't watch the entirety of this game. Maybe they got to see Malik Given-Smith rushing touchdown, or maybe they got to see Luke Potts made a big play. So a couple extra people that may get distracted. So I would certainly be driving over, you look at the scoreboard. I always do that every time I pass. I'm like, oh, we got a good game going on over here, and the answer tonight is most certainly yes.
Maybe if you're a fan, maybe even stop, you pull over, get a nice look at the field and see what's going on out there.
Yeah, pull off into Love's over there back in the distance and pull up ciproud.com.
Absolutely.
And watch this one. And again, I can see the Love sign even from here atop our perch in the press box. It's a nice stop. Big fan of Love's travel stops. I know you might maybe be stopping on some on the way back to Chicago tonight.
Absolutely. I will
Busy
definitely
man.
be stopping. Yep, definitely be stopping. Definitely stop at Canes, I can tell you that much.
Raising Canes, that'll be a great one as well. You can see the moon a little bit there behind the clouds here at Normal West. Some cloud cover tonight, but overall mostly clear as Beatty keeps it. Goes to the outside, has some blocks inside the 20. That'll make it about a 3rd and 8 or so before he's brought down by Taekwon Page.
I'm interested to see if they run the ball here or if they try to go for another score.
I almost wonder if community would even go for it on 4th down. Maybe they would just take the risk and say, hey, if we get it, we get to hold on to the ball. If we don't, we're still up by 2 scores with under 6 to play.
I think if I'm Normal Community, I think you look for Potts here. He's had a great game. You need a playmaker, and he's been a playmaker tonight. So I think you look his direction first. And if he's not open, obviously you have other playmakers. So
different man in the backfield. That's not Kretzinger. That's Malachi Kinsey for Community. And Nathan Fincham sees that, or maybe something else, calls timeout. And can't afford to be too overprotective or cautious here. And I think we'll have a quick chance. Let's take a look at what's coming up for both of these squads. Normal Community at Urbana next week. They'll probably be able to roll through that one pretty quickly. Next week, though, or September 19th, week 4, they host Kankakee in a big-time matchup. They played last year. Kankakee got the better of them. That's going to be a big, big game for the Ironmen. And then they stay at Dick Tharp Field for week 5. They host Manual. So, again, I think a lot of people are kind of looking at the Kankakee game. I think Ironman, most people will expect them to roll pretty big against Urbana and Manual.
absolutely. I think that that Kankakee game is going to be one to watch. I think it's going to be a lot. It's not going to be a lot. I think it's going to be closer than this one. It might be a one-score game headed into the final minute. I think that has the potential of that. And I think Normal Community could get the better of Kankakee this time. I think they've looked pretty good to start this season.
Again, especially, too, with, so many new faces they had to replace. I mean, you look on paper, they lost Kyle Beatty. They lost Kalen Taylor. They lost Marquand Gary. They lost a lot of guys, A.J. Montoya on defense. I mean, all conference guys all around the field that they lost. But, again, just the commitment, the expectation, just the program, able to get whoever it is, doesn't matter what name, what player it is, they got guys that are ready to play, and they do a great job coaching them up each year. Beatty looking to pass. It's a screen to Potts. Inside the 15. He got down to about the 12 or 13. It's going to be awfully close, Nick Yusefi. I think it's going to be fourth and about 1.
Yeah, I think it might be 4th and 1, maybe 4th and 2. But, it looks like on the scoreboard it's 4th and 3. So
from our angle, again,
I thought it looked like he almost got there.
We're off to the side. They need the 10. Got to the 13. So 4th and 3. West is going to need this stop.
Oh, and I think they're going to go for the field goal. They're going to play this one safe.
Okay.
And they're going to go for the field goal here.
They will go with the field goal. Will Castro from 30 yards out. Make it a 13-point game. West may have jumped off sides. If they did, that's a first down for Community. West cannot afford that right now. They've had a few penalties tonight. Nathan Fincham is pointing that it was on Community. That would back them up 5. It's a little bit of a long discussion here.
Yeah.
Kind of who did what first.
Although the kicker looks like he's jumping up, so it is on Normal West.
Wow. So the offense comes back on the field for Community. And again, it's those 2 penalties on 4th down in the red zone down there, and the offsides on this 4th down in this trip to the red zone. I think those are the 3 ones that are just been combined all backbreakers for the Wildcats, unfortunately.
They've been killer. And they haven't really gotten too many flags here tonight. So with the 3 flags coming in very important times, it's just not helpful if you want to come back in this game.
Now, again, they can still keep Community out of the end zone. The thing is, though, is that clock.
Yeah.
And you're only 8 yards away, and Cole Kretzinger's been running well. We'll see. Again, Kinsey's still in the backfield now for the Ironmen. As I think Fitcham wanted an explanation about that call right there. So it's a 1st and goal from the 8. Very, very small silver lining.
Yeah.
Maybe you have the opportunity to get a turnover here, maybe a loose ball, an interception if you're West. So you had to get pretty lucky.
We have seen 2 snaps go not normal Community's way, so we'll see what happens.
Beatty will keep it himself, run to the outside. He'll throw, looking for a man, touchdown! Normal Community touchdown.
And who else? It looks like it's Potts over there in the back of the end zone for that one. He's been active all night tonight, so like I said earlier, when you need a big-time play, you go to your big-time player, and he was right there in the back of the end zone.
Luke Potts, 3rd touchdown of the night, 2nd receiving, and he puts the Ironman back up. But hold on, Nick, there is a flag. Hold your horses. Flag down back at the 5.
Never mind. Maybe. Oh yeah, it looks like it is coming back. So that touchdown is coming back. And if you're normal West, sigh of relief right there.
Good throw from Beatty again. The patience to find his man in the back of the end zone, and a little bit of in traffic there. Now 1st and goal from the 13. West showing some pressure. A handoff, Kinsey met at the line of scrimmage. Here's a big play that the West D-line needed. And it looks like Nathan Fincham calling another timeout. Again, just mindful of that clock.
Yeah.
Not trying to let Community bleed it too much.
Easier if I say it like that, my friend.
As we take a quick look again at our game between Peoria High and P&D. And Nick, we were talking again. It's a game that's probably going to have a lot of points. It always does every single year. Well, it's 58-31.
Looks like my prediction was somewhat right. I thought it was going to be a little closer of a game, but it was a high-scoring game nonetheless. 89 points combined.
And P&D again outscoring Peoria High 31-30 in that second half. It was 28-0. Lions were leading at halftime, so a lot of big touchdowns in that game.
So I'm looking for a run here. I think if you're Community, I think you run the ball. You continue to milk that clock, force them to use their timeouts.
And we do have a final score for you. Eureka 35-0 win over Peru St. Bede. Big bounce back for the Hornets. They're now 1-1. One of these teams will fall to 1-1 on the year. Normal West hoping that it's not them. They can find some late game magic. Beatty keeps it, sheds a tackle, and brought down, though. The reinforcements came in.
Glad to see
that
him
was
get
Given
up.
Smith and Marquell Letcher, who's made some big plays.
Great way to break the tackle, but great way of Normal West to rally on that and make a stop right at the line of scrimmage, it looked like.
Again, Beatty was able to evade the first guy, but not the second and third. So again, timeout Normal West. 3rd and 14 here with 4:20 to go. So again, you still may be able to hold him out of the end zone, but it's going to come at the cost of having to spend all 3 of your timeouts because of that offsides.
Yeah. I think if you're Normal Community here, I think you look not to go to the end zone here. I think you just look to pick up yards, keep the clock moving, and maybe make them waste another timeout.
We'll have a quick second. I want to shout out again, Clutch Sports Media Overtime. Subscribe today. Scan that QR code there on your screen. Follow your school and the stories you care about. Daily roundups, news, feature stories, lots more over there on CSM Overtime. Our coverage not just on Friday nights. I know some think that we just kind of emerge out of a shell on Fridays and broadcast games. No, we're covering stuff all around the area, Peoria and Bloomington Normal throughout the week. So here's a 3rd and goal from the 14. Beatty looking to pass. Now he's going to tuck it in and run as a safe play there.
Yep.
Maybe not the scoring play, but it keeps the ball in the hands and in the possession of the Ironman.
As well as it runs the timeout, or it runs the clock a little bit more.
And again, I think that's going to force West to use their third and final timeout.
Yep.
So, in all likelihood, Ironman will bring out Castro for a kick.
A nice 13-point lead.
Again, still not totally safe, though. Again, if they were able to score a touchdown, make it 17, again, that's when it becomes a 3-possession game. But unless Community goes for it, or there's another botched snap and Luke Potts makes more magic and runs in for a touchdown, or like he did earlier on that 2-point conversion. Now, West may still have a chance. And
I mean, we saw a kickoff return magic, so it could happen again here and could ultimately shake this atmosphere.
And glad you're with us here in our WMBD Game of the Week, powered by Clutch Sports Media. This has been a fun one all night long. Normal Community getting closer to smelling that chili. But it's still 4:14 to go as Castro will line up for same distance as last time. 30-yarder. Kick and snap are good. And it's a 35-22 ball game. Will Castro, nice kick there. That one had a lot of leg on that one.
That one looked like it could have been good from 40, maybe close to 45.
And he had that one kick. He tried one from around 40-ish or so earlier that I think maybe been kind of going into the wind, kind of peeled off to the left a bit. But he has got a big leg, and certainly a guy that has definitely, I think, the capabilities to kick at the next level.
I would agree. He, I think he shook off that previous kickoff well. Really put that one right down the middle of the uprights, and there was no question about that kick at all.
And again, I asked Jason Drungwitz, Normal Community's head coach, before this game earlier this week. I said, who's the guy that's really been standing out for you, a guy that's been playing well? And the first guy he mentioned was Castro, their kicker. I mean, so he must be doing something right. If you're asking all the guys that do great stuff, and the first thing that comes to mind is your kicker. So, Will Castro can't be overlooked. And again, obviously Luke Potts, his holder, doing a pretty good job as well, getting that clutch 2-point conversion earlier as well. He's had a big night.
I'm sure if you're Luke or if you're Castro, you're happy to hear that your coach thinks of you as a player that has been improving and has been playing great football. So I'm sure he's happy to hear that. His coach mentioned him first.
Well, and especially at the high school level, too. Again, you do the NFL, okay, every kicker is expected to make kicks. They're all expected to kick it into the end zone. They're all expected to, pretty much do everything and, be amazing. And at high school, though, guys like Will Castro, maybe not always easy to come by. So, again, kickers have really a big impact, especially at this level.
I wonder
low squib kick picked up by Givens at the 25. Looking for some blocks. Sheds one out to the 41. A solid return, but couldn't quite break it out in the open space.
I wonder if Castro was a soccer player. I've seen most high school kickers are soccer players before they start kicking, and then they slowly transfer over to becoming a kicker.
Yeah, there are a lot of schools that do that, and they bring the guy over from the soccer team. Pretty much, your forward, your striker, whoever's got the biggest leg, you're also the kicker as well. But again, Will Castro, as far as I know, could be wrong. As far as I know, full-time football kicker there for the Ironman as young little assistant for Community takes the tee off the field. We're ready to go. 1st and 10 from the 42. Wildcats need to score on this drive. Empty set for Mangrum. Baskins at the bottom of your screen. Givens set for a screen up top. Stays on his feet and stumbles forward for 5 or 6. It could have been even more.
It feels like every time that there could be a big play, it always ends with someone tripping or falling over.
The turf monster is the MVP of this one.
Yeah.
Still a pickup of 4, though. West moving quickly. Keep an eye, too, on Molbauer. He made a big catch earlier in this one. They'll go to the screen. Other side, Baskins. Molbauer missed a block, but Baskins is able to get close to the first down and out across midfield. And there are 2 Ironmen and only 1 Cody Molbauer there.
It will move the chains, so that does stop the clock. Actually, never mind. I stand corrected. The clock is still running.
And that did move the chains. But again, once the chains get set, then the clock starts back up again. Still 5 wide for West. Mangrum composing the pocket, finds his man. That's Williams, the freshman. He's got a first down and much more. Flag down at the end of the play, but Marshawn Williams, the freshman, making an impact in his first Chili Bowl.
Yeah, and it looked like he shed a block there by Givens, who is no scrawny guy. Kind of just looked like he tossed him to the side there and was able to make a nice open field tackle.
See what this flag is about. In the meantime, we do have final scores from around the area. East Peoria 49-zip over Springfield Lanphier, 58-31. Peoria High, final score over Peoria and Notre Dame. Lions 2-0, P&D 0-2.
That's a great start to the season if you're Peoria. It's
Yeah,
a great start. They had a monstrous win this week and, a really convincing win last week, so they're off to a hot start.
Offense averaging 50 points a game. They scored 42 last week, 58 tonight. That's an even 100. So got to be ready to stop the Lions. Although usually when they face Community and West, it is a little bit more sometimes of a defensive game than maybe some would expect as we get this call as they hold on West. Another killer penalty.
After that sort of.
But an unsportsmanlike conduct, too, on Community. I think those penalties will offset.
Yeah.
So the play will stand. Williams, the first down grab.
I've seen a lot of unsportsmanlike conduct calls this game. I think we've had like 4.
Two or three, I think.
Two or three? Okay.
Thankfully, nothing's devolved into anything too malicious. Yeah. Still in this one, 3 minutes to go. But again, West knocking on the door. The door is still open. They're not out of this one yet. And Mangrum has been, I think, kind of looking for those screens, those underneath routes. Not as many risky passes on this drive. Mangrum looking right, looking to throw. Man in coverage. Dangerous throw when it falls incomplete. His intended target there was Kashawn Jones, the sophomore wideout.
And I was surprised he took that shot over the middle of the field there with the safety and the corner kind of blanketing Jones. But thankfully for Normal West, that does fall in the back of the end zone.
And Mangrum had 2 picks, the one to Kamarion Coleman earlier in the first half, and then threw one right to Jalen Smith earlier. So again, this Community defense, which forced 5 turnovers last week, they returned 2 of them for touchdowns. They're continuing to feast off of turnovers.
Yeah.
2nd and 10, screen pass out to Williams again. He's got some blocks, tries to get away, and a good wrap up there by Kierfoot. Another ankle tackle, and boy, these guys do not let go.
I know. It seems like whenever they get a hold of your leg, especially, they just seem to trip you up and you eventually go down.
So a good tackle there from Kierfoot. The junior's been active. 3rd and 4 on the 28. Approaching 2 minutes to play here at West. Another pass. Good protection and tries to get away with it. He tried to toss it to his lineman, number 55. Tried to just get rid of it. Bounced off the helmet of Amari Lee, and they might get Mangrum for intentional grounding here.
I don't.
Maybe. We'll see what it is.
Maybe Amari Lee is their secret tight end that we just didn't know about.
Well, I think he's got a report as an eligible receiver, which to our knowledge he did not. Again, I said Mangrum was well protected, then boom, coverage coming off the end there. That might have been either Ogston or Adrian Ramirez there on that D-line bringing some heat. And I think this one might be on West. Ineligible man downfield. Or illegal touching, rather, for West is the official call.
I'm surprised they did not get him on intentional grounding there. Instead, they went with the illegal
touching.
Yeah, the touching, not illegal man downfield.
So, but Community will decline that penalty. They will accept it.
Now it is 4th and 9.
So I guess there's a loss of down as well. So it's not 3rd and 9. This is a 4th and 9. This is essentially the ball game.
Yep.
And we get a timeout called by Jason Drungwitz. Again, because West doesn't have any remaining. Neither team has any remaining here in the fourth quarter. But again, Nick, I think no matter even if West somehow comes back, if Community holds on to win this, I'm glad that, again, we got a great football game.
Yeah.
You know, but, this was, neck and neck all the way throughout. Big fourth quarter for Community, the difference so far in this one. But, again, this was not the 48-7 or the 40-0 Chili Bowls we've seen in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I will say, though, at the start of this game, it looked like it was going to heavily be in Community's favor. But Normal West, they played their butts off tonight, and they brought this game to a lot closer of a game than it looked to be at the start of this one.
So 4th and 9 here, Nick. Again, we've seen a lot from both these offenses so far. Are you going run? Are you going pass? Whatever you're doing, who are you looking for West to make a play here?
I think if you're Normal West, I think you pass the ball here. We need a first down, and I think you look Givens' way. He's your big playmaker. I think on a big play, you look for your big playmaker.
They'll go 4 wideouts. Baskins at the bottom. Keshawn Jones in the bottom slot, kind of lined up behind Stovall, the right tackle. Also keep an eye on C.J. Payton, also kind of lined up behind the line on the left side. Givens at the top. Mangrum looking Givens' way. He's got him on the comeback and jarred loose. Big hit for Community. Colton LeCompte. Might have been the guy to get in there. Good sportsmanship. Jalen Smith helping up his counterpart, Malik Givens, but a turnover on downs, and that will essentially do it.
Yeah, I will say, I think they did look for their big playmaker. It was just a great coverage by the corner there. He stuck with him and was able to. It looked like Givens had him there on the first step, but he was able to close out and disrupt that pass.
Again, Givens was open on the comeback, but again, the pressure came in.
And the closing speed of the corner sort of made up some ground there that he gained off the first step of the comeback.
Big pass breakup from the Ironman defense. And again, we talked a lot about Luke Potts and Lucas Beatty, Cole Kretzinger, but really, I think that their defense making some stands really been a big difference maker in this one again, and also 2 picks as well.
Yeah, as well as those late flags. Those, I think, made the 3 big differences in this game. I think this game's a lot closer if you don't have those flags.
Certainly, and Normal Community will come out in the best formation in football. Oh! Looked like there may have been trouble on that snap there, but Beatty falls back on it. That was an interesting kneel.
Maybe that's how they drew it up.
Maybe.
They wanted to throw us off up here.
They figured, well, at this point we're just running out the clock. Let's fool out the guys up top. So Normal Community looks like they will go to 2-0 on the year after a 40-6 win over Richwoods. And this score holds a 2-score win over their Unit 5 rival, the Normal West Wildcats. And Beatty backs up, and takes the knee right there.
I'm a little surprised that the Normal Community section, the student section, isn't a little louder knowing that they're in victory formation.
I think they're just kind of saving all of it up for when the Ironmen rush over there after the game is over.
Yeah.
Certainly the Chili Bowl will come out. Normal Community will be eating from it tonight. Again, they continue to have a firm stronghold on this rivalry, but again, the Normal West gave them almost all they could handle tonight, really. It really hats off to Nathan Fincham and the rest of the Cats. A few penalties. Maybe if they go the different way, maybe you're looking at a much different game, and maybe West is looking at having the ball, a chance to win here on this final drive.
Absolutely. I also think that this was the game that we asked for.
Yep.
We didn't ask for a blowout. We asked for a good close game, and this game delivered.
And the Ironmen will run back to their bench. 4-second difference between play clock and game clock, and that will do it. Teams line up, and Normal Community will win this one 35-22. Big fourth quarter for them again. It started, that pass to Luke Potts, a 38-yard touchdown, and also Kyle Beatty, a touchdown pass to Michael Mavick to end the third quarter as well. Those are the 2 big ones that helped Ironman get a big lead.
Absolutely. If we had to pick an MVP for this game, my pick, and I'm sure a lot of people's pick, is Luke Pox. He was all over the field today, especially offensively. He not only had receiving touchdowns, he had that passing touchdown to start off the game. I think it was a lot. Even though they won by 2 scores, this was a really close game. And I think if you're Normal West, you can take something good out of this, considering the last 2 matchups.
So the 48 minutes of hate are over. And these guys can go back to being friends again. A lot of friends and long-time, almost lifelong friends saying good game to each other in the huddle after, again, a very good game by both sides. So, again, I'm sure both these teams, there's still that rivalry is always there. They're going to be, I'm sure, wishing each other well the rest of the way throughout the rest of the season. We'll take one quick break and come right back and wrap things up here from Normal West on CIProud.com.
Every Sunday morning, we shine a light on the stories that often go untold but matter the most. Stories told by the people who live it, rooted in community, rich in story. Join me, Thomas Garbrick, Sunday mornings right here at 7 on WMBD, Central Illinois Proud.
Friday Night Lights bring the action, but only one play can be the best of the week. Vote now for the CI Proud Play of the Week, sponsored by Willow Lane Yoga and Wellness.
Normal Community will eat some chili tonight. They celebrate at midfield.
I need somebody to get the midfield celebration for me. Ready to.
And they will enjoy this victory the rest of this weekend. Nick, overall, final thoughts from this one. Really a great game from both sides.
Yeah, I would agree. It was a great game. Some final wrap-ups. Normal West, they started off a little shaky, but they found a groove. Penalties killed them at the end, as well as interceptions. But I think they found their groove towards the end, as well as Normal Community. They started pounding the rock towards the end, and they were able to make big plays. They were finding big targets. Luke Potts being one of them, and Kurt Singer being one of the other star players over there on offense. Also, Luke Beatty played a great game today. He stepped up clutch in huge situations like the 2-minute drill that they ran there at the end of the half, as well as making stuff happen when it looks slim.
And the Ironmen will celebrate. West learn some lessons from this one. I think for them, again, the guys, I think the main takeaway for them is they got to play more disciplined. And again, it's the inopportune penalties. Again, every team will have them. It's just a matter of when they occur for the Wildcats. At some bad times, set them back behind the chains. But again, a lot of good things I think to take away. I mean, Cody Mulbauer, very solid for them tonight. Their defense held up, pretty well sometimes when they needed to as well. So again, neither of these teams, and they'll both say this, are finished products. This is arguably one of maybe some of the worst games they play all season, because these teams will get better as the year gets along, but still a great game, a very high level one here tonight between 2 playoff contenders.
Absolutely. This is only week 2. So I'm excited to see what they pull off right before the playoffs, even into the playoffs. Both of these teams, they looked great tonight. I think week 3, they'll come better, practice. As one of the players, Brady Wolf, said, their team is just looking to get better week in and week out, and they certainly look great here tonight.
Certainly. Normal Community, winners of the Chili Bowl for 2025, 35-22, your final. That will about do it for our Clutch Sports Media crew. I want to thank you all for tuning in to our WMBD Game of the Week on CIProud.com. I want to thank our staff, Aubrey Degnan, Ryan Angelo, Joey Balonis, Kenan Sexton, our director tonight, Mark Wagner behind the sticks. And for my broadcast partner, Nicholas Giuseppe, I'm Jonathan Michael, saying we'll see you next week for more high school football here on CIProud.com. Community reigns supreme over Normal tonight, 35-22. Have a great weekend, folks.